After playing over 800 hours of Stardew Valley, I've accomplished one thing I'd never done in this game, and that's reach perfection. From humble beginnings to the top of the peak, I played until I finally saw this achievement pop. Perfection in Stardew Valley is a monstrous task, taken many months of farming, slashing, and more kegs than you could ever imagine. But at long last, here is my full playthrough of my perfection file of Stardew Valley. My file started as EmzaOhNo in character creation, where I named my farm in the most mature and elegant way possible. Then, for the first time in years, I watched the opening cutscene. After admiring Grandpa's weird bed and getting dunked on by Robin, my journey on Titty's farm began, not with parsnips, but with hay. See, I chose the Meadowlands farm type, introduced in 1.6, where you start with 2 baby chickens. In my case, randomly named Viola and Piccolo. These little beauties are my guiding light in the beginning of my journey, and I would die for them. I chopped some wood to make a chest and spent my life savings at Pierre's to buy some seeds, and went to bed. After watering my crops, which I will do every day, don't you worry. It happens, you just won't see it. I meet Willy, one of the characters I would marry, but can't. I get my fishing rod and spend half my day fishing and selling my catches to Willy before I spend my hard-earned coin at Pierre's to plant more seeds. I wish I liked fishing half as much as Willy does, but I don't, not even a little. I'm soaked through to the bone, but this is the easiest way to make early in-game money, so I do it. I fish until I hit level 2 fishing because I'm barely about that grind. By today, I know I'm going to take the community center route, and I'm going to try to finish it in year 1. I'm not a casual Stardew player, 700 hours and multiple speedruns, but I do know and play more than most people. I'm going to play somewhere between a casual and more min-maxed based route for year 1, and, well, never mind, I'm going to bed before 11 a.m. Marnie has found this stray pup, and I keep him, obviously. I name him Scoot after my first dog. My Scooter had asthma, but this one probably doesn't. I take my first parsnip harvest to the mines with me, where Marlin gives me, a complete stranger, a weapon and tells me to go fend for myself. I used to do speedruns of the mines and I was never very good, and I'm clearly out of practice. I pass out on floor 19 looking for a ladder, but I've leveled up in farming, so there are minimal consequences. Clit is on my doorstep and I hate this man, but I love me a good furnace. Linus told me someone went through my pockets while I passed out, and I don't want to point fingers, but I will. On my way to Pierre's, Lewis stops me to tell me about the rundown community center. I poke my head inside and look at the tablet that I cannot read, before once again spending most of my money at Pierre's and fishing. It's Sunday, baby, which means Queen of Sauce. Today I learned how to make stir fry. I go to the traveling cart, which will be my best friend in this challenge. The things I'm looking out for are a red cabbage or its seeds, a truffle, and a rabbit's foot. If I don't find a red cabbage, I won't complete the community center until summer of year 2, and the other 2 are just so I don't have to rush through my farming empire. And look, there it is. In no way can I afford it, but here's a rabbit's foot. Honestly, it's a rough start. To cope with missing out on this rabbit's foot, I go get high with a strange man in a tower. And with the juice of the forest coursing through my veins, I'll now be able to read that weird tablet. So I do. But I realize I don't have the leek to complete the spring foraging bundle, which makes me a loser. Everyone can tell. And Lewis knows I've been smoking with the wizard, but at least I leveled up in fishing. Robin tried to apologize to me for being so mean about my grandpa's cabin by asking me to employ her. She's monopolized carpentry in this town, so I will have to eventually, but for now, I buy some more seeds from Pierre's. I'm not trying to spend a bunch of time watering, but I also want to save up for my sweet, sweet strawberries, the real money-making crop of this season. Then, while hunting slimes in the mines, it happened. My first clothing drop. I've decided that no matter what the shirt or hat that drops is, I have to wear it until the next one drops. It's my favorite and least favorite thing about this playthrough. With the blessing of my new witch hat, I made it to level 20 in the mines, defeating the evil spiral floor. On my way to the mines, I found the leek I needed for the community center, completing my first bundle. Only 29 more to go. I tried to break into Sam's room, but wasn't allowed. At the museum, I gave my favorite Stardew character a birthday present. You'll see why Vincent is my favorite later in this video. I apologized to Sam for trying to break in earlier this morning, but he seemed unfazed. Then I saw something I've never seen in playing Stardew, and that's Haley and Alex hanging out inside. I definitely felt like I was interrupting, so I ran away and spent the day fishing in shame for some extra cash. Day 11 started as a simple, classic Stardew day where I watered my plants, then I got the museum cutscene where Gunther asked me, a strange farmer, to help fill the museum. He must be a Nepo baby because who runs an empty museum? Donated a couple things I'd found, then spent the rest of the day in the mines until I made it to level 35. Oh, what are those little icons in the top right corner? Why, that's the UI mod. It shows things like luck and when the traveling cart is here and a bunch of other fun icons throughout playing. It's my absolute favorite Stardew mod that I'd forgotten to add before starting recording, and now here it is. It's linked in the description if you want to download it yourself. I really don't play without it. But for day 12, it was raining in the valley, so I started the day fishing in the mountain lake. Then I went to the traveling cart, and thank goodness I did because red cabbage seeds! Okay, there's no way I can miss finishing the community center in year 1, right? Then I missed so many catfish that I contemplated deleting the game. After watering my plants, I set up space for some sprinklers. Today was the egg festival, which for me meant strawberries. And beating Abigail at the egg hunt. I bought 43 strawberry seeds, then demolished the egg hunt with 10 eggs. I won a straw hat, which means my witchy time was over. I didn't remember to change my hat until after I watered all my crops. The best part about the 1.6 update for me is that you start with a wardrobe, so I don't have random hat chests all over my house. Don't I just look the cutest? I ran into Jazz and Vincent investigating the sewers. Penny really needs to keep a better eye on them. I really should have bought this coffee bean, but decided to pass. Edits of Haley on TikTok have really changed my mind about her, so I made sure to gift her even though she's awful. I made it through the rest of the dark floors and spent the rest of the day refreshing floor 41 to get iron. I decided to donate some stuff to the community center, letting me finish the spring crops bundle. I also donated some of the fish I'd been catching, and I spent the rest of the day refreshing the mines for some iron. On day 16, I was back in the mines, determined to get to those lower floors, but pretty quickly was frustrated by my weak pickaxe. I added upgrading that to my mental to-do list and spent the rest of the day fishing, where I accidentally exhausted myself. My wild seeds were ready, so I picked those for some sweet foraging XP. Then when I checked on my chickens, I realized I still hadn't made a mayo maker, so I made 2, which I would later regret doing. I spent the rest of the day fishing in the river until I reached level 5 fishing, where I chose Fisher. Today, I shipped the fish from yesterday because I knew I'd get the perk to increase the sell price. Very smart of me. Then I upgraded my watering can because the UI mod told me it was gonna rain tomorrow. Look at that, another rainy spring day. I fished for catfish until I got bored and then donated one to the community center. I dropped off my pickaxe to be upgraded at Clit's, finally, and picked up my watering can. While clearing my farm, I found another witch's hat. This is where I decided against wearing duplicate items and instead switched to this button-down shirt that I cannot remember where I got for a new funky look. I gave my favorite problematic bachelor a present for his birthday and seriously considered marrying him for this playthrough. I can fix him. I know I can. On day 21, I had my first strawberry harvest. I picked enough of them to make it to farming level 4. At this point, I realize I want a silo but don't have the clay for it. Clay farming is a really popular money-making technique and I could do it, but I don't wanna. This silo will come to me naturally. I am manifesting it. Then at the traveling cart, a red cabbage. Insane. This is such a hard thing to find and I don't even need it. I did buy a cherry for a different bundle though. Then I finished my day fishing where I fished up the Jewel of the Sea book, which made me twice as likely to find treasure while fishing. Very cool. Now, I don't like Pierre, but I hate Morris way more. When he's waving his dang coupons around, ooh, I just want to push him over. I vowed as I planted my new parsnip seeds that I would do whatever it takes to push Joja Mart out of Pelican Town. Then I picked up my pickaxe from Clit's. I got to level 45 in the mines. Nice! I asked every bachelor and bachelorette to dance with me at the flower dance, and they all said no. It was actually not fun at all, thank you for asking. Today was another strawberry harvest, which was enough to push me up to level 5, where I chose the tiller profession to make 10% more money on my crops. I checked my relationship tab, and the results were appalling. Just can't quit you, Shane. I gave the second worst shopkeeper a birthday gift and bought the backpack upgrade. I don't think I've ever seen red cabbage seeds this much at the traveling cart. This is wild. Then at Willie's, I made my bobber randomized to make fishing just a little bit more fun. At the end of the day, I found Linus snooping through Georgia's trash can. Linus is one of my favorite characters in Stardew. He can do no wrong. Snoop away, my guy. Today brought the classic Stardew debate, the mushroom or the fruit bat cave. I decided to go with fruit bats because I wanted to play around with the new mushroom logs. I spent the day fighting dust sprites in the mines for a quest when I found a new shirt. Then I gave Emily a birthday gift to wrap up the day. On the last day of spring, I really should have bought this rabbit's foot from the traveling cart. And what, more red cabbage seeds? Ridiculous. But I did buy an apple for the community center. I went to Lewis's house to redeem my first prize ticket that I'd gotten from a quest. I redeemed it for some summer squash seeds that I'd plant the next day. I spent the rest of the day fighting for my life in the mines. It is hot and it is summer, y'all. I spend the morning trying to plan out my field and doing an awful job. I give up trying to interlock the basic sprinklers and spend all my hard-earned cash at Pierre's buying a little bit of everything. No aesthetic farms here, I am so sorry. But I did plant my one red cabbage seed. Shame if it were to get struck by lightning. I realized I hadn't been thinking about sprinklers at all, and I needed to because watering wasn't it. Instead of doing anything like that, I spent the whole day fishing until I hit level 7. I spent today fighting for my life in the mines. Again. Until I reached level 60. I fished up an ancient seed, which I'd actually never done before. Then I gave Jazz a birthday present and spent the rest of the day fishing in the ocean. Another rainy day. I almost bought cheese at the traveling cart, but thought better of it. Then I finished the adventurers bundle to unlock the bulletin board in the community center. Then a dust sprite dropped the monster compendium in the mines. This power gives monsters a small chance to drop double loot. Pretty cool. Green Rain, one of the new events in Stardew Valley 1.6. I spent the whole day harvesting moss and talking with villagers in the bar. I'm sure there's more to this day, but I don't know what it is. I went to the community center to finish the summer foraging bundle, then handed in another prize ticket. At night, Mr. Key littered his mystery boxes all over the valley. More things to open at Klitz. On day 36, I went to visit the sauna for the first time to recover all the energy I'm wasting watering crops. I used all of that regained energy to make it down to floor 75 in the mines. Very demure, very mindful. On this rainy summer day, I dropped my axe off at Clint's for an upgrade, then dropped off a bunch of things at the museum, including my ancient seed. I spent the rest of the day in the mines, where I finally got down to floor 80, and I spent the rest of the day refreshing floor 81 for gold. Thankfully, none of the summer storms had taken my sweet red cabbage, and now I can definitely complete the community center, as long as I get that rabbit's foot and a truffle. Which I definitely won't forget about. I give Maru a gold quality strawberry for her birthday and find Jack Be Nimble in an artifact spot, which gives me a permanent +1 to defense. This had a 1.3% rate to drop, so I'm pretty happy to get this early. I put mayo in the soup. Everyone liked it. Good soup. Willie and I bonded over fishing in his shack, and later Demetrius kind of maybe threatened me about getting close with Maru. Didn't like that. Nope. Even still, I commissioned a silo from Robin. It's not her fault her husband is weird. And look, a truffle at the traveling cart that I definitely should have bought. At the community center, I fished up the ocean and lake fish bundles, getting me that much closer to never having to fish again. I finally started placing good quality sprinklers with the gold that I've been smelting, but it just keeps raining. I picked up my axe from Clint's, then gave Alex a flower for his birthday. Fun fact, it always rains on Alex's birthday. And I take that as a sign. Then I bought 50 melons from Pierre's because I really need big bucks for that Balt bundle. I took some of the mystery boxes to Klitz and got soup and wood. Pleasure doing business as always, Clit. I still dropped off my axe because he is the only blacksmith in town and I need an upgrade. I dropped off several things at the community center, including my red cabbage, a pomegranate from the fruit bat cave, and the rest of the summer crop bundle. I spent day 43 messing around in the mines, then I made some tappers to get oak resin to get started on my keg empire. That's how I'll be making a lot of my money in this game. I went to the secret woods for the first time today to harvest hardwood. I'll be going here as often as I can. I walked into one of Shane's many heartbreaking heart events. If you've made it this far into the video, know that you matter. There's always frozen pizza and eggs. I spent today back in the mines where I made it to level 90 and a crab dropped, so I was able to finish the crab pot bundle. It was a pretty basic day today with harvesting everything, and then I set up crab pots in town. Even though I hate fishing, I still need to catch every fish at least once to get perfection. I had a pretty good harvest that brought me up to farming level 8 today. Unfortunately, there was nothing of note at the traveling cart today, but I did head to Robin's to get a barn built. Then I gave Demetrius a melon for his birthday, even though he has real bad vibes sometimes. 20th and 21st of summer are the trout derby. It's a fisherman's dream, but my personal nightmare. I spent both of these days fishing for rainbow trout that might contain golden tags that I could trade in for various prizes. I did like talking to all the new weird NPCs, but neither of these days were very fun. I'm just glad I'll never have to do anything like this ever again. But I did get a new hat. I saw how run down my fence was outside my chicken coop, so I tore the whole thing down. Now my chickens can run around and cause chaos wherever they please. While clearing trees, I found Woody's Secret, which gives a 5% chance to yield double wood. This book had a 0.1 chance to drop, and I didn't know it existed until this moment. With some oak resin I'd gathered, it was time to start my keg empire. Hey, size doesn't matter when it comes to starting an empire, okay? Then I died in the mines, which was super embarrassing, and will likely never happen again. I made a couple recycling machines to get through all the trash I'd fished up from the trout derby. Later in the day, I dropped my copper hoe off at Klitz for an upgrade. I realized I didn't have the earth crystal to complete the boiler room because I'd made it into a mayo maker, so into the mines I went, where I found one actually really quickly. Then I dropped it off, finishing my first room in the community center. That night, the Junimos fixed the mine carts, making getting around town a whole lot easier. I need wood for building upgrades, tappers, and kegs, so I spent a lot of time today deforesting my farm. Then, with enough wood, I was able to upgrade my barn. I went to Marnie's and ran into some drama. It was super awkward, but I was there to buy a baby cow I named Bernard. I placed a mushroom log to start experimenting with that and spent the rest of the day fishing with Willie for his birthday. The day started with a big harvest and finding a new shirt. I spent most of the days going between Klitz to open geodes and donating whatever I found to the museum. I did make a couple lightning rods, but it might be too late in the season for storms, which is a bummer because I need battery packs. But I did hit level 9 farming. With today's harvest, I was able to take some quality crops to the community center. I gave grumpy old Grandpa George a hot pepper for his aching knee, and I made it to level 100 in the mines. I didn't pick up the star drop though because I wanted to use the energy refill at a later date. At night, a fairy visited the farm and technically helped grow a couple things. It's kind of wild that Marnie really lets you name your animals whatever you want. I named my new goat Farquaad. Emily and I spent a lot of time together today, first in her dream, and then saving a no-named bird friend. She is both the sweetest and strangest bachelorette. Finally, I made it. The end of summer's here, and I spent it all day in the mines, harvesting gold and iron for more sprinklers. Then I spent the evening at my favorite Stardew Valley festival, watching the Moonlight Jellies dance. It's fall, and all my crops are dead, except the corn. I spent the day fixing up my farm for fall, and spent all my money on new fall seeds that I planted and watered. Robin and Lewis showed me the new special orders board that they had just finished building. But before checking it out, I finished the fall foraging bundle. Then I picked up aquatic overpopulation from the board and gave Penny a gift for her birthday. Emily was on my porch at 6 a.m. to tell me I could use her sewing machine. Girl, it is too early for this. Then I went back in the mines to get some iron and pick up the level 100 star drop. I used that stamina gain to fish the rest of the day away looking for tiger trouts. I spent all of day 60 fishing for even more tiger trout. Very exciting gameplay, thank you for noticing. On a very rainy day, I bought an apple from the traveling cart. Then I caught a wood skip from the secret woods. Later that day, I caught a walleye and I donated both fish to the community center, finishing the night fishing bundle. To the mines I went for day 62 because I need more stone in order to upgrade my coop to a big coop. I finally finished the aquatic overpopulation quest by fishing up my 10th tiger trout. That took way more days than I thought it was going to. I'm so glad it's over. I got a couple mystery boxes with my prize ticket, and that didn't feel worth the effort at all. I picked up the prismatic jelly quest today, which is a quest I always dread doing in Stardew playthroughs. You have to find a rainbow slime that appears 1.2% of the time with every slime without any luck buffs. This quest has taken me the full 7 days to find the slime multiple times, but on the third time I refreshed the mine, something told me to go to the ladder that popped up, and there she was, rainbow and all. I couldn't believe it. Beautiful. Linus showed me something in his tent, and I will not be talking about it. I bought some more pumpkin seeds at Pierre's. My current plan is to use my keg empire to make lots and lots of pumpkin juice. You may think it's disgusting, but it's all cash to me, baby. I went to Marnie's to give her some amaranth, but instead I found Shane passed out on the floor. I can fix him. I promise. To lighten the mood, I bought a duck that I named Fruit Loops. I picked up my steel pickaxe from Klitz, which I thought might help with my difficulties in the mines. It didn't. I died pretty easily. Marnie was on my doorstep at 6 a.m. asking for me to bring a cave carrot to her shop to feed to her goats. We should probably address your alcoholic nephew, but sure, I can get you a carrot. I gave Jody a diamond for her birthday before her gossip session with Caroline, and then I spent the rest of my day on the farm, cutting down trees to make room for a slightly more aesthetic tapper farm. I ended the day with farming level 10 and chose the artisan perk. I thought about buying a duck feather from the traveling cart, but decided against it. Later that night at the saloon, I tried to give Marnie a cave carrot, which she hated, so I double-checked the quest and realized I was wrong. And a little dumb. She wanted me to bring it to her house. Weird choice, but okay. For day 69, I realized I might miss the window for a truffle because pigs actually won't harvest truffles outside when it's winter, so I need to upgrade my barn and get a baby pig to grow up before the end of fall. So I sprinted to Robin's to have her start on the barn upgrade, panicking the whole way there. I also settled an argument for Emily and Haley. I'm not trying to hate on Haley, guys. I'm really not. I guess she's cute in that mean girl way. Today was my first pumpkin harvest. Then, on my way to buy seeds to replant my farm, Abigail asked me to play Journey of the Prairie King with her, which I nearly lost. I've still never beaten the game, and at this rate, I probably never will. Then, with those pumpkins, I'm able to complete both the Fall Crops bundle and the Quality Crops bundle. I've been steadily trying to expand my keg empire and was able to add a couple more today. Then my duck finally laid an egg, which is the last thing I needed to complete the pantry in the community center. Not bad, I'm happy with 2 rooms down, and the greenhouse finally unlocked. Today at the Stardew Valley Fair, you'll get to see why Vincent is my favorite character, and it's because of the hyper-intelligent statement he makes while looking at bovines at the festival. He's a goddamn genius. I won the Grange display, defeating Pierre, and then lost in gambling so many times. I swear I was at this fair forever until I eventually cleaned out the shop of all the cool stuff, including a star drop and my next hat. M'lady. I felt awful saying that. I don't like the fedora any more than you do. It's just the rules of this playthrough. I started setting up the greenhouse and planted some leftover pumpkin seeds. I brought Marnie the cave carrot, which is for the goats, and definitely not her. Then bought a baby pig named Magnus that I really need to grow up ASAP. Also, baby Zorro the sheep came home that day too. Late that night, I broke the rock in the entrance of the mines to finally meet the dwarf. On day 74, I broke open some geodes and mystery boxes at Klitz, then sprinted to give Marnie a birthday gift. Please forgive me for the cave carrot incident. There was nothing I needed at the traveling cart, so I spent the rest of the day slashing bugs in the mines, where I found the monster compendium again. Since I've already found it, I just get 100 more XP in combat, which is much needed because I'm a lover, not a fighter. Except on day 76, where I am exclusively a fighter. I make Monster Musk to take into the mines to continue with the Juicy Bugs Wanted quest. I spend all day demolishing the local bug population until I slash a certain bug, which drops a new shirt to go with my snazzy fedora. I caved and bought a truffle because I wasn't confident that I'd gotten the pig in time. Hope there aren't any other animals I've forgotten to get with essential items to finish the community center. On my way to Willie's, I hoed up a Woodcutter's Weekly, then handed in the bait that I'd been harvesting. With the prize ticket, I got a sapling. I'm not mad about that. Thanks, Lewis. I bought the last backpack upgrade. I can't believe I didn't have access to a full inventory this whole time. Now I can hoard like the goblin that I am. I planted my saplings in the greenhouse. I think I've planted a sapling outside like once in all my hours of Stardew. The greenhouse is just too superior. Then Haley said something funny, like a joke. This is for sure new dialogue, because I've been adamantly against Haley until Chapel Road. I finished off the chef's bundle and picked up the Rock Rejuvenation quest. I had the displeasure of watching my second least favorite cutscene in Stardew because of that thing. And the noises it makes. Ew. I picked up Friendship 101 from Lewis's, which increases the rate at which my friendship goes up with all the villagers. Now everyone will love me a little bit faster. Today, I stopped by my grandparents' house to give George a leek for his birthday. He might hate me, but I love him. Then I headed to the community center to finish off the fodder bundle. I helped Haley open a jar because I am actually so big and so strong and so tough. I went to Robin's to move my coop to start thinking about organizing my farm a bit, which I won't continue to do until year 2, but that's okay. I finished the entire vault bundle in one go, which felt super nice. I've never done that before. I love finding new ways to go through Stardew. It was almost all my money, but I still felt super cool doing it. Having access to the desert is such a game changer. For people who are good at Skull Caverns, I harvest some of my pumpkins and move some sprinklers inside the greenhouse that I won't need for winter. I have only now realized that if I don't get a rabbit's foot from the traveling cart, I probably won't finish the community center this year. Every traveling cart day is even more crucial now. I totally regret not picking that up earlier this year. Then I head to the desert for the first time to meet Sandy and buy starfruit, which will be my main crop in the greenhouse, along with ancient fruit. There, I catch a sandfish that I use to finish the fish tank in the community center. This unlocks panning later that night. Thank you, Junimos. Today is my final big harvest of the season. I've been slowly turning all my pumpkins into pumpkin juice. It's gross, but it makes a lot more money than selling them normally. Here you can see that I did barely plan out enough time for my pig to find a truffle. It was super close. I am glad I bought that truffle a while ago though. I decided to finish the mines today before heading to the festival. I didn't go straight to the bottom because the monsters get stronger once you've made it to the bottom of the mines. And I didn't want the hassle because they've already killed me a couple times. Then in the secret woods, I gave the statue a sweet gemberry, unlocking another star drop. And I got a new shirt from chopping all those stumps. At the Spirits Eve festival, I easily conquered the maze. Then I talked to Clint about how he apparently makes weapons but has never sold them? Weird time to flex, Clint. No luck at the traveling cart, but I did buy a coffee bean. Weird that one hasn't dropped yet. Then I went to the desert to buy starfruit seeds and trade my jades and rubies for staircases and spicy eels. I'll try to do this every Sunday, but I definitely forget. I did a mini Skull Cavern run where I left when a Pepper Rex floor got too scary. I left that day with 1 iridium. Is this the worst Skull Cavern run ever posted about on YouTube? Probably. And I'll happily take that title. But I don't have time to mope because it's winter, baby. Last season in Gear 1. The music in winter is just beautiful, but being bad at Skull Caverns, there's not much I can do in winter. I see Alex talking to Dusty, a dog I can never pet, and I pick up a hardwood quest from Robin. I finish the dye bundle and get the copper pan from Willie, aka a new hat. Then I find a new shirt in an artifact spot by the bus stop, so full new fit today. I tried Skull Caverns and really quickly died and woke up in a cutscene with Maru and Harvey, clearly flirting with each other even though I flirt with both of them all the time. That's fine, they can both be my wives. I finally asked Robin to upgrade my coop. I don't know if I'll have time to befriend a rabbit, but I'm trying my best. After dropping off the winter forageables and finishing another room, all I'm missing is this silly rabbit's foot. My success for the first year fully depends on one item. No pressure! With the bridge repaired, I plan to start moving my small empire of kegs to the quarry for the future. I bring some geodes to Klitz because I haven't forgotten about finishing the museum. It is just slow going, but I am determined. Kind of. I struck out of the traveling cart, so I buy a rabbit from Marnie's and just cross my fingers. Hopefully Horchata will deliver their foot. I don't really understand how this item works. Also, I moved my crab pots from the river to the ocean to catch those sweet ocean fishies. Today, I set up my kegs in the quarry, giving me more space on my farm to do... I don't know yet. It's just more room for activities. I use a prize ticket and get another hat. Now I look like everyone I knew in middle school. I grab the magnifying glass from the shadow creature, scarring both Jazz and Vincent. Pierre starts my day by telling me about the seeds I can't buy yet. That's frustrating, but it's not as bad as still not getting a rabbit's foot from the traveling cart. I drop off the hardwood with Robin, then Emily does a dance, just for me, before performing a rock ceremony, I guess. I do a small Skull Caverns run late in the day where I find my first prismatic shard on floor 10, but more importantly, a new shirt on floor 15. I end my very full day getting the galaxy sword and looking as fashionable as possible. My pumpkin juice quarry is coming along quite nicely. I don't have the money to switch to a full starfruit wine keg empire, so I'll probably end up filling the kegs with random crops until then. I spent most of my time at the winter fishing festival staring at this weird little snowman. But as the best fisher in the valley, there's really no competition. And I won a new hat easily. Where this pond comes from, though, I'll never understand. I moved the rest of my kegs from my farm up to the quarry, then spend the rest of my day fishing all over the valley. Robin used all the hardwood I'd collected her to make a sick 4-poster bed. I asked her to upgrade my house so I could have a kitchen. Then Sebastian complained about his remote work-from-home job. Some people don't know how good they have it. Then I went to Skull Cavern and made it the lowest I have so far, with barely any iridium to show for it. I had taken the quest to clear the waters of the valley, so I spent all day on my farm fishing for trash. I took all that garbage up to the dumpster by the train station and called it a night. There was once again no rabbit's foot at the traveling cart. I'm really worried I missed my chance to buy one. I brought the Wizard of Void Essence for a quest. I love hanging out in his creepy little tower. I wish I had more reasons to come here. Oh look! Another 2-day fishing competition. This time it's Squidfest. How fun. It's the same game, but a little bit different. This time I need to catch the amount of squid on the board to be awarded different levels of prizes. I caught the 8 squid needed for day 1, netting me a couple different prizes, including a book called The Art of Crabbing, which gives crab pots a 25% chance to hold double items. Can't wait for day 2. When leaving my farm this morning, I saw Pam wasn't at the bus stop. Looks like I could drive myself, but no, I saw her at Squidfest day 2. I guess it makes sense that you'd have to be inebriated to enjoy this festival. I got lucky, with a couple bubble spots making day 2's Squidfest much faster. Before redeeming my prizes, I decided I wanted to upgrade my hoe, and I got to Klitz right as he was about to close. Afterwards, I headed back to the beach to redeem my random prizes, including a new amazing hat that I love. I swear. I needed a drink, but at the saloon, Gus told me that Pam wasn't paying her huge tabs. Why is she the one driving the bus again? This morning at 6 a.m., Gunther was on my porch, thanking me for donating so much to the museum. Somebody had to, Gunther, and we both know it wasn't gonna be you. He gave me the rusty key, and now I can get into the sewers to see my silly little friend. Again, no rabbit's foot at the traveling cart. I only have 7 more chances before year 1 is over. Uh-oh. I'm glad Linus is enjoying the cleaner waters. I just wish I didn't have to see it. I did a Skull Caverns run where I found more sprinklers on a treasure floor and made it down to floor 51 before leaving. Not too bad. I had a decent greenhouse harvest with starfruit and pumpkins before heading to Clint's to pick up my hoe and smash the Omni Geodes I'd gotten from Skull Caverns. I descended into the sewers to meet the shadow monster himself, Krobus. He's such a cool character. I love that he can move in with you and you can be best friends forever. I brought maple syrup to the secret woods to give to a bear. He liked me enough, despite my squid hat, and was kind enough to teach me a little bit about salmonberries and blackberries, making them worth triple the price. I went to the first night of the night market just to check out the traveling cart, and still no rabbit's foot. Here we are, day 100, and why is there so much left in the video? I may have tricked you a little bit. These 100-day videos are going to be the full year in Stardew Valley. I'm still working towards perfection though, don't you worry. Today, I went to the desert to give Sandy a flower and stock up on more starfruit seeds. Later, I ran into sad boy Sebastian working on his bike, and my guy Linus just enjoying nature and vibing. Told him to keep doing his thing, and he really appreciated that. There was nothing for me at the night market's traveling cart. Such a bummer. Welcome to day 1 of surprise content, and it's me, checking the traveling cart. Again, and finding no foot. I took my sorrows down in the submarine to do some deep-sea fishing. The blobfish and I have the same mood right now. A letter from Mayor Lewis told me that Sam was my secret friend for the Winter Festival. I like Sam. I'll probably get him a pizza or something. My greenhouse is coming along nicely. I've been putting my ancient fruits in the seed maker to make and plant more ancient seeds. My goal is to split the greenhouse with half starfruit and half ancient seeds, but I'm not planning it very well so far. I'm almost out of pumpkins, so I'm slowly switching my keg empire from pumpkin juice to starfruit wine. I headed to Pierre's to buy some ingredients, then spent the afternoon cooking until I got the aptly named cook achievement. Only 70 more recipes to cook for perfection. There was a loud crash in the night, and I headed to investigate it first thing in the morning. Turns out the giant tree fell, and it's up to me to fix the stump. I used the precious hardwood in my inventory, 100 pieces of it, to turn the stump into a little home. Hopefully someone will move in soon. I've got 3 more chances after today to get a rabbit's foot. I'm nervous, so I made myself feel better by visiting my friend the Hat Mouse and getting a hat a little more appropriate for the season. Goodbye, Squid Hat. I brought my watering can to be upgraded to gold at Clint's when I probably should have upgraded my pickaxe. Oh well. In the sewers, I bought a void egg from Krobus. I'll be back for you, Stardrop. George told me how he ended up in a wheelchair. Then Harvey came by to check on him. It turned pretty quickly into them arguing. It's none of my business, but I'm happy to be involved. I don't know where I got this chocolate cake, but I gave it to Evelyn for her birthday. With nothing better to do, I decided to try for the winter's legendary fish, the glacier fish. You can find it off this little lip near the Hat Mouse. He's such a challenge. I failed, and got so frustrated that I quit trying for the day. I am easily deterred. The holiday spirit just wasn't meant to be, as I found a new hat while chopping a tree. I do think I look very dapper though. My little raccoon friend that moved into the tree asked for 5 oysters and a smoked fish. I gave them the fish and then was yet again let down by the traveling cart. Got 2 more chances to finish the community center this year. Not like my whole journey relies on this rabbit's foot. I ran some errands, picking up my watering can, some heaters for my animals, and more staircases in the desert. In the morning, Jody hiked up to my farm to ask me to catch a fish for a casserole. I'm welcome to join her family for dinner, but I'm not sure that I want to. I'm back with a vengeance today to catch this glacier fish. Now I've got bobbers on my rod, and I failed. I ate some chowder to up my fishing level, increasing the size of my bar, and then on my next attempt, I did it. I feel like I got lucky with a much easier pattern this time, but I'm not complaining. That's one step closer to perfection. I wanted to go get a drink to celebrate, but I got stuck helping Clit try to talk to Emily. Emphasis on try. Sorry, buddy. She only dances for people she likes. Today, I'm picking up a challenge from Robin to collect 1,000 pieces of wood in a week. And you already know I'm down for more deforestation. I upgraded my trash can at Clit's, then tried to convince Leah to throw an art show in town to show off her beautiful sculptures. I spent the rest of the day ruining the local forest, just like Robin asked. Leah was on my doorstep this morning, and I thought she was going to complain about my destroying the forest near her home, but instead, she gave me a sculpture that showed her feelings about me. I don't get it, but thank you. At the blacksmith's, I was opening mystery boxes when I got a mystery shirt. I didn't know this existed. I look amazing. I love these new mystery boxes. Then I went to Lewis's and got Woodcutter's Weekly from the prize ticket machine for 100 more foraging XP. Merry Winterfest, you filthy animals. I started today with a big starfruit wine haul, then headed to the festival. I gave Sam a cactus fruit instead of a pizza, then Robin gifted me with, surprise, surprise, 50 rocks. Thank you so much. What a great festival. Today is the second to last visit of the traveling cart this year. My only goal for this first year was to finish the community center and have good vibes. And I actually could not believe it when I saw this. A rabbit's foot. I thought I was dreaming. How lucky can you get? Then I panned in a spot in the secret woods, finding a hat and making an outfit worth celebrating this victory in. I dropped my rabbit's foot off at the community center and said goodbye to the Junimos. With a little over 2 days left in the year, I am proud to say I did finish the community center in the first year. Just barely. After dropping off my axe at Clint's, I ran into Sam doing a sick trick on his skateboard, and Mayor Lewis putting the ew in Lewis. At the bar, Gus was feeding some townsfolk an omelet made from eggs from my farm. Titty's farm. Hilarious. I decided to go for a Skull Caverns run today, so I bought the Dwarvish safety manual and bombs from the dwarf. The manual reduces the damage bombs do to me by 25%, which I've desperately needed. This is by far my best Skull Caverns run this year, and because of the good luck and the many bombs, I was able to make it down to floor 80 with 81 pieces of iridium. Not too shabby, and I didn't die. As I reflect on my last day here in year 1 in the valley, I'm pretty happy with all I've accomplished. I've got a coop and a barn with tons of animals. I started on my tapper farm and keg empire, made decent friends with most villagers, and most importantly, wore a lot of cool outfits. I'm able to celebrate with all the townsfolk and see Joja Mart's own Morris punched through the roof of the community center, that I will probably have to fix later. My journey ends this year with Willie taking me to the back of his fishing hut to show me my next big goal, fixing his ship and journeying across the sea. What a wonderful way to start the year back on the farm. Time for some uninterrupted... Oh, who are you? Hi, Kent. It's 6 a.m. This could have been a letter. Anyways, my farm is a wreck, and I need to fix the fields for lots of spring crops. I check in on my animals who haven't been outside in a whole season, then place my trophy front and center, so I always remember that I saved this whole valley from corporations, and everyone should be super nice to me. I'm off to Pierre's to buy some... Wait, nope. First, I creep on an aerobics class, and then I buy a bunch of seeds, focusing on cauliflower. I make sure to buy garlic seeds too, the new spring crop. I say hi to Shane, ignore his red flags, plant my crops, and go to bed. It's a good luck day on day 114, and I decide to go to Skull Caverns. I buy some bombs from the dwarf, then hitch a ride with one of the valley's alcoholics. It was all going well. I found some secret notes, killed a slime that gave me money, which feels like a new feature. I'm actually not sure. And when I found a treasure floor with a farm warp, I thought, I'll just go home early. And then I was trapped behind a tree without an axe, 6 feet from my house, where I passed out. I have 700 hours in this game. How am I still so bad at it? I woke up to a 69 gold bill. Not so nice. And I made sure to clear that stupid tree. I checked in with my forest neighbors to see that they still wanted some oysters. Then I showed that I'm definitely the strongest person in the valley by lifting Leah up over my head. Only for her to friend zone me? Okay, definitely not marrying her. I took 200 hardwood and 10 iridium bars down to Willie's. Now I still need 5 batteries to finish the boat repair. It'll probably take me until the summer thunderstorms to get those batteries, but I'll be checking the traveling cart and slaying iridium bats in Skull Caverns to try to get the 3 I'm missing. I'll also be befriending Pam because sometimes she'll send a battery in the mail. I deliver those oysters to the raccoons and am gifted with carrot seeds. Thanks, guys. Then I gather my wine from my small but mighty keg empire. On this rainy spring 4, I decided to try to catch the legend, and after so much trouble with the glacier fish, never mind, I caught it first try. At Robin's, I sided with her against Demetrius in a debate about a tomato, and then Robin showed me how to make the flute and drum blocks, because she can trust me more than her stupid husband. I found Shane passed out in the rain, and I took him to Harvey's. I asked y'all in the comments of the 100 Days video who I should marry, and actually a lot of you like Shane, for all the wrong reasons. Me too, besties. That is our man. I will be putting a ring on that finger. Or a pendant around his neck. Abigail and I had a jam session in the rain, then I did something I've never done in all my hours of Stardew. I commissioned Robin to build a stable for me. Then, to get out of the rain, I headed into the sewers to buy a star drop from Krobus. On my doorstep, Shane told me he was going to start going to therapy. We love a man who prioritizes his mental health. I headed to my frenemy, the traveling cart, to look for batteries, but ended up leaving with a Joja catalog. It's my new personal mission to try to collect as many of these catalogs as I can. I don't know how many there are or how to get them, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get them all. There was this really hilarious pop-up when I placed the Joja catalog saying that furniture might cause me bodily harm, which actually ended up being super relevant when I watched Clint drink Joja's new drink and blew himself. While visiting Granny Evelyn, she said we were close enough that she trusted me with her cookie recipe. How sweet. Took me 2 hours the morning of the 6th until I realized there was a new member of my family on my farm sitting out in the open. Named my new horse Spork, and quickly learned how dumb I've been to never have built a stable in years of playing Stardew. Look how fast I am. I spent the rest of the day on the ice floors in the mines trying to make a dent in the monster eradication goals with focusing on dust sprites and skeletons. I rode Spork to the traveling cart where I purchased a fez. I decided to give my new steed my beloved party hat. He looks so handsome. Aren't we just a sight together? I haven't been to my coop in a while. Let me check on my... I've made a mistake. I will be gathering eggs more often. I decided to try to catch the mines fish today, and I had no trouble with the ice pip, and then got beyond frustrated when it came to the lava eel, and left to try to get this guy another day. I caught Marnie and Lewis behind the bushes, and then watched the wizard break up a fight between the dwarf and Krobus. Lots of drama in the valley today. Pam sent me a battery in the mail, which means I only need 2 more to repair the boat. I bet I'll be totally successful and get them before summer. After felling this random tree, I reached foraging level 10. I chose Lumberjack when I leveled up later that night, but during the day I sold old weapons to Marlin at the Adventurers Guild, then cleared out the quarry a bit more. I told Sam I like high energy dance music, which is a lie, and covered for him when he made a mess in the kitchen. I took my pickaxe to Klitz to be upgraded to Iridium, then I checked out the raccoon's shop and knew I needed fruit trees to fulfill their next requests. I need apricots and cherries, so I might as well get the rest of the trees. I went to Pierre's and made sure I got one of every kind for the greenhouse, and I ended the day with dinner at Sam's house, where I felt like a part of the family. For better or worse. I guess hanging out with Sam so much yesterday made him think I'd want to see his band play in Zuzu City. I'll stop by if I can, buddy. I heard Abigail fighting with Caroline, and does Abigail seem way young in her cutscenes? Personally, she's never been for me. I am so sorry, Abigail stans. Then I bought potatoes and DSG, Deluxe Speed Grow, from Pierre's to try to make Pam 12 bottles of potato juice before the end of a quest. When I dug up these little worms, I found a trash can shirt. Now my outside can look like how I feel inside. So anyways, I decided to take my ancient fruit that I've been saving in the greenhouse, start filling the missing bundle. I'm probably gonna go for everything except the aged wine because honestly, it's easier that way. I spoke to Lewis, and every day I love my choice of farm name. Went to Sam's show on purpose and listened to his band play high energy dance music. I actually might ship him and Emily now because she's way too supportive considering what we just watched. The morning of the Egg Festival, I found a letter from Krobus that the wizard helped him write. That's kind of cute, actually. Then, in what is becoming a yearly tradition, I bought strawberry seeds and kicked Abigail's butt at the egg hunt. It feels good to win again. I replaced all my freshly grown cauliflower with strawberry seeds. Then read a letter about a new 3-day desert festival. I don't know anything about that, but I'm excited to find out. I made sure to give Haley a birthday present since she's so hard to please every other day of the year. I picked my fully upgraded iridium pickaxe up from Klitz and headed to the desert to pick up more starfruit seeds for the greenhouse and exchange jade for staircases. When I got back, I saw that Spork had been wondering where I'd been, and I spent the rest of the day heartbroken to have upset my little friend. I'd take you everywhere if I could, yes I would, little Spork. It was raining in Pelican Town, which meant it was a perfect time to check out a brand new desert festival. I started the day by talking to a weird chef who made me a sour salad after I answered his BuzzFeed quiz. There's a lot to do here, like go for Marlin's Skull Caverns quest, which I was not prepared for at all, and gambling. I love betting on Shoe Biscuit. I would trust them with my life. The goal of this festival is to collect calico eggs, which act as a kind of currency. Different villagers open shops with different things you can buy for eggs. I guess for me, I could have gotten a rabbit's foot here for the community center since my rabbit still hasn't dropped one yet. Luckily, I don't need one. My favorite part of this festival is the stall where Emily and Sandy will dress you in a new outfit every day. I look normal now. The cactus man gave me a cactus that he says is the perfect match for me, and I ended up buying a velvet bow as a new hat. I went home to decorate with the cactus, and I think that guy was bullying me. Since it was a decent luck day, I decided to try one of Marlin's challenges and went to Skull Cavern for eggs. During the Desert Festival, you can find eggs just by exploring, or using weird totems that potentially make your dive more challenging. My mini run wasn't very eventful, but I did end up leaving with over 240 eggs. I got another makeover and bought another bow, then headed home. Today was the last day of the Desert Festival, and it was also the day my potatoes were ready to harvest. I can't believe I'm supplying the local alcoholic with more booze, but that's the name of the game, baby. Back at the festival, I saw Pierre was selling eggs for money, a move that is totally against the spirit of the event, but one I totally support. I had my last makeover, bought a mummy mask, and went back into the caverns. It was pretty uneventful, but I did see that I made over 100k today for the first time. Pretty cool. Day 130 started with me replanting my greenhouse with starfruit and ancient fruit seeds. I'm thinking I'll eventually want to fill the whole greenhouse with ancient fruit, but for now, the split with starfruit definitely works. I harvest oak resin from my tapper farm and clear out the quarry to make room to expand my keg empire. I take my hoe to Klitz to be upgraded and then decide to further expand my resin farm next to Grandpa's shrine. I have a rather unpleasant drink with Elliot and then give Pam a beer for her birthday. I should really stop supplying her, but hey, she might send me a battery in the mail, and I need that. Anyways, I continue planting my oak trees and quickly realize I'm about to experience one of my favorite Stardew cutscenes in a mummy mask. It's a beautiful mistake that I must now live with. Haley was cool and a little flirty despite my outfit. Maybe she's not so bad. I check the traveling cart and find nothing but disappointment before heading to the Hat Mouse to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. I realize I've never found and returned Robin's axe, and I make sure I catch her on the way to the bar. She must not have missed it very much because it's been gone for almost a full year. Haley sent me a letter saying how much fun she'd had. She didn't like me until I wore the mummy mask, which means either I must be uglier than I thought or Haley has tastes I wasn't expecting. I head to Robin's because I need a fish pond to start harvesting squid ink and some other stuff later in the future. Then I share some totally normal and not hallucination-inducing tea with Caroline. She's got secrets. I like her. I picked up my hoe from Clint and chose to try to get ectoplasm from ghosts for Rasmodius, even though I only had 2 days left in the quest. I searched in the ice floors for monster musk, then found it with a lucky drop. The next day, after checking the traveling cart for batteries and finding nothing again, I took the ectoplasm straight to the wizard. This peaceful Sunday morning, I barged in on Lewis to get bee houses and diamonds from the prize machine. I love prize tickets. Then I finally had enough money to buy the outrageously overpriced books from the bookseller. There I bought Way of the Wind Part 1, Horse, the Book, and Ol' Slitherlegs. All books designed to help me move faster. I emptied and refilled my kegs before dropping off the potato juice in Pam's fridge. I left with a guilty conscience, but I forgot, knowing how much money I was going to make off finishing a request. Today, I harvested strawberries, then saw an example of yet another man in this town who could benefit from extensive therapy. I spent the evening cooking to work my way slowly to perfection. Since it's not likely I'll get to Ginger Island anytime soon, looking at you, traveling cart, I've been working on raising relationships, monster slaying goals, and cooking. It's not as fun as exploring Ginger Island, but I didn't get lightning rods quick enough last summer, which is a bit of a bummer for the start of the video, I'm not gonna lie. I checked on my relationship tab the next day, and I'm actually doing way better than expected. Lewis is my best friend, which is awful, but I can and will change that. I spent the whole day on the ice level of the mine, slaying skeletons and dust sprites, while trying to level up my combat skill and work on those monster eradication goals. I checked on my progress in the Adventurers Guild, and I probably still have another couple days on the ice floors before I get those monsters done. I also got a skeleton mask, which I'm sure I won't regret unlocking. So it's the Flower Dance Festival, and I'm dressed like this. And it doesn't totally make sense that Shane would dance with me while I'm dressed in a skeleton mask on what is kind of our first date. This is my truest form, Shane. I don't know what to tell you. This is romance, baby. Other people play Stardew like this. I'm not like other people. I knew today I had to upgrade my keg empire. I put down pathing so rocks would stop spawning through the quarry. It had been super annoying, and I could have easily prevented it the entire time. I exchanged 3 prize tickets at Lewis's, earning me key mystery boxes, magic rock candy, and another star drop tea. With the 1.6 update, you can upgrade your copper pan, so I started doing that. At Pierre's, he tried to extort the local townspeople for some gold star vegetables I gave him. You know what? I might be starting to regret kicking Joja out of town. Shape up, Pierre. I spent that evening back in the kitchen. I even unlocked Sous Chef, showing I've cooked 25 recipes. Only 55 more to go. Fun. Today was my last strawberry harvest of the season, and I swear I spent all my traveling cart luck on the last 100 days video. I bought a new hat because 2 insane looks in romantic cutscenes is too many. At Robin's, I moved my stable and upgraded my house. Grandpa's letter told me he would return on the dawn of my 3rd year. Did Grandpa confirm part 3 of this series? It should drop sometime in December. Please subscribe. These take so long to make. And then my rabbit finally dropped their first foot. Nobody got upset. She produced a foot in her own time. This morning, Leah told me about her art show in town, then I went to Klitz to pick up my pan and open some geodes. I cleared out these trees to make room for a machine area, and I used this sign to be sure I wouldn't forget why I did that. On the last day of spring, I was excited to see my kegs ready because all this money is going straight to melons, starfruit, and blueberries. I stocked up on some more starfruit seeds, then headed to the mountains where I ran into the wizard. He complained about his ex and sent me on a quest to break into her house so he can get his magic ink back. Free will is an illusion in Stardew, and I will help this man commit a crime. Oh, also I leveled up in combat, finally maxing all my skills. With the beginning of a new season comes the same terrible farm layout. I started by planting some of my starfruit with deluxe speed grow, then headed to Pierre's. There I found his secret stash because I love sticking my nose in everybody's business. What do you think is in his stash? I actually have no idea. Pierre's totally willing to forgive me after I drop 17k on seeds. Later, I hit up Leah's art show, but am distracted the whole time by her super creepy ex in the corner. Pursuing your art career is cool, Leah, but have you ever considered pursuing a restraining order? I head to the sewers to go ask my boy Krobus about the Dark Talisman, and they say they dropped it, so I have to go squish some bugs to grab it. My grand pig was born. I named them Dr. Oink MD because my pigs are all high achievers. I went to Skull Caverns and finally found a dinosaur egg. Then I died. Again. I can't believe how bad I am at this game. On the way to the old Joja Mart, I saw that I had started working on Mastery. I don't know what this means at this point, but I'll explain it later in the video. I dropped off a prismatic shard for the missing bundle, then went to Robin's. There I asked her to move my greenhouse, and I saw you can add other rooms onto your house? I didn't know this, but I'm sure everyone else did. And then I went to the Mastery Cave and read a letter from Grandpa. I've got a long ways to go until I can unlock any levels of mastery, but it's super cool to look forward to after finishing leveling all my skills. I spent the rest of the evening working on making a little machine field to try and clean up my farm like all the aesthetic girlies. Today, on Jazz's birthday, Shane gave her a pair of bunny jeweled slippers. Then he showed me his blue chickens. That was cool, but not as cool as discovering that this book Marnie sells lets you access her shop whenever you need. Now my animals won't starve anymore. Screw you, Marnie. I never liked shopping with you anyway. It's your fault my animals starve on Mondays. With how sweet and how much growth he's gone through, I knew I wanted to ask Shane to be my boyfriend, so I bought a bouquet and waited for that special moment. JK, I tried to date Caroline and the game wouldn't let me, so I knew I had to settle. I helped Haley find the bracelet she lost on the beach, and she hugged me in a way that made me, for a moment, reconsider if I really wanted to ask Shane to be my boyfriend. I wish I could put requests in at the traveling cart to increase the chance I get what I'm looking for, because there's still no damn batteries. Alex and I play catch, and that's truly all I did that day. Let me have a lazy summer day, thank you. Another green rain day means harvesting lots of moss. I made the trek through the downpour to get my final axe upgrade at Klitz, and I decided during this terrifying and unexplained weather, I didn't want to go through this wacky world alone. So I asked Shane to be my partner. Then he immediately started talking about the weather again. He's the one for me, y'all. With this summer thunderstorm, I've got lightning rods making battery packs, which means I'll finally get to Ginger Island within the next couple days. After a failed, last-ditch effort to not hate the traveling cart, I talked with Elliot about his novel, and Alex about how I'm smarter than he is. I went fishing to replace the rainbow trout in my fish pond with a sturgeon. You need sturgeon roe to make caviar, and that's one of the things I need for the missing bundle. But when I fished up the sturgeon, I was shocked to get enough roe with it that I didn't even need the fish pond. What a waste! Glad I built that. At the bar, I found Shane staring at a cactus in the corner. What a catch. Today, my batteries were ready. I sprinted down to Willie's to finish fixing the boat. I mean, the boat was fixed, but he needed the batteries so he could charge me to go to the island. Guys, I hate to say it, but Willie might be a rat. I got my eye on you, Willie. I also decided to go for the summer's legendary fish, the crimson fish. I tried and royally failed the first time, so I went back to the farm to craft a cork bobber, my favorite of the bobbers. Then I went back to the ocean, and on the third attempt, I caught the crimson fish. It gave me a little trouble, but still way, way easier than the glacier fish. But who cares about any of that, because it's Ginger Island time, baby. I buy a ticket for 1,000 gold. Willie, my god, stop extorting the locals. I'm taken on a personal cruise to the island paradise. I see a small boy hop out of a tree and run away from me. I have no questions. I gather the first of 130 golden walnuts that I have to find and give it to this parrot. I try to speak to the child, but he's too nervous. So I leave him, the clearly orphaned child, to go wander around the island. I'm on vacation time, baby. Finding 9 golden walnuts and this bird that works for Joja Mart, says it'll find the walnuts for me if I pay, oh my, over 1 million gold. This is very, very, very tempting because I've only found all the walnuts once, but I'm gonna be diligent and find them all, including the second worst part of Stardew. Simon says. I use my walnuts to tell the turtle to get out of the way and make my way to the west side of the island, unlocking the farm. Here I meet a strange old woman who gives me a photograph of a war memento. I wonder which traumatized war-based villager would want this. I'll have to think about it. I spend the rest of the day messing around looking for walnuts, then I head back to the valley to sleep in my own bed. I decide to head into the cave by the quarry to grab the golden scythe. I wish you could have multiples of tools in Stardew like you can with the scythe and the fishing rod. I swear I'm always losing my watering can. I spent hours waiting to give Maru a birthday present, only for me to realize she was outside with her telescope. Happy birthday, Maru. Here's a single strawberry. After harvesting my kegs, I went to the luau, where I actually talked to everyone this year. And for the second year in a row, we feasted on mayo soup. Maru electrocuted me, which is red flag behavior. I still paid her mother to upgrade my home because I don't have a choice. At the bookseller, I bought Way of the Wind Part 2 and the price catalog. I've got quite a few more books to find, and I have no idea where to look. I dropped caviar off at Joja Mart, getting me one step closer to finishing the last bundle. After refilling starfruit seeds in the desert, my trading quest took me to George with a universal remote, then to the wizard with an arctic shard, and the wizard gave me a worm in exchange for an item of rare magical properties. Seems fair. I took the worm to Willie and ended up with the pirate's locket. Looks like I'll be heading back to the island soon to give the necklace to Birdie. On Alex's birthday, I walked in on him, shirtless, lifting weights. This disturbed me so much that I fled to Ginger Island to start my starfruit farm there. I built a bridge to the dig site and eventually saved Professor Snail, who was stuck in the mushroom cave. He asked if I find any bones around the island to bring them to him. Sure. Why should you do your job when you can ask a complete stranger to do it for you? Honestly, I get it. It's a trend here in the valley. Today, I was able to finish the raccoon's request for dried cherries because my tree finally grew. They gave me the raccoon journal, which means weeds have a greater chance to drop mixed seeds now. This would have been helpful a year ago. At Klitz, I finally upgraded my watering can to iridium. I donated a couple things to the museum, and Alex called my shoes dirty, which I think is him being nice. Abigail asked if I was wondering why she was in the graveyard, and actually, I was. And that's a creepy thing to ask in the middle of the night, rock eater. I took a battery to the box in the bus tunnel to start Key's quest line. Then I stargazed with Maru in a totally platonic way on my way to take a rainbow shell to the box at the train station, because what else would I do on a Sunday night? I made a couple more crystallariums to produce jade for staircases, then headed back to Ginger Island to give the mysterious woman the pirate locket. But it turns out she's not outside on rainy days. My bad. So I goofed around until the mysterious boy decided he wanted to talk to me. Turns out his name is Leo, and I would and will protect him with my life. My dino egg hatched, and I named it the only appropriate thing. I picked up my watering can from Klitz, then headed to Ginger Island, where it was raining. If only I had some sort of icon that could have told me the weather. Oh yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I decided to try to do a volcano run instead of wasting my day coming here. I am bad and slow at the volcano, so I head back to the farm to rest up and try again later. I take a small wine harvest into my new basement that comes with casks. I'm gonna age some of my starfruit wine just for fun. I'm way too impatient to wait 2 full seasons to age my wine all the way to iridium quality, even though it does double the value of the wine. I need money, and I need it today. On my way back to Ginger Island, I run into Alex crying on the beach. I'm learning way too much about this man after asking Shane to be my boyfriend, I swear. I finally give Birdie the pirate's locket on a sunny day, and she's super grateful and happy to die alone. Couldn't be me. I unlock the farmhouse on the island, meaning I can finally start sleeping here. So I do. On day 158, I wake up determined to conquer the volcano, and I technically do, even though it takes me all day. The 10 floors here feel so long compared to Skull Caverns or even the regular mines. But I do have access to the forge now and can upgrade my tools and weapons with magma shards. I should probably be more excited about this, but spoilers, I forget about it pretty quickly. Back in the valley, I pick some blueberries. I'm missing that sound. The sound of money. Then I head to the traveling cart just to be disappointed. In the evening, I put 10 beets in Lewis's fridge and receive a riddle I never would have solved without the wiki. I check on my mans at the bar, then head to the forest. I see a sign for the Trout Derby that I will happily not be participating in. I did my time last year, Trout Derby. In the Mastery Cave, I'm not sure which one to pick first, so I choose Foraging Mastery on a whim. This unlocks golden mystery boxes, the Mystic Tree Seed, and treasure totems, which I assume will help me find the missing artifacts for the museum. A TikTok will later tell me I chose the masteries in the least helpful order, but I'm living in bliss at this moment. I wake up to a letter from Lewis telling me that I'm ready to get married. So he's been watching us at the bar. Very creepy. When's the next election? I would like to vote this man out of office. I craft and plant the new Mystic Tree Seeds I unlocked, then head to the sewers to catch a slime jack. I'm really trying to 100% fishing so I never have to fish again. Now I'm 1 fish closer to achieving my dream. Shane invited me to go to a grid ball game, and I think this is our first kiss, which is kinda super sweet. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen this cutscene before. I spend the rest of the night cooking because I'm really trying to keep this to a 3-part series, you feel me? Joke's on me though, it rains the next day, and I immediately buy a mermaid pendant for Shane. But I don't propose. To prove a point. To who? I'm not sure. On Ginger Island, I start gifting Leo duck feathers because they're one of his loved gifts. And I need everyone to love me, or I'll cry. I only have 62 golden walnuts, so much for being any kind of good at this game. I'm back in the mines today trying to catch the cave fish. I grab the stonefish, then I try my hand at the lava eel again. After an insane amount of trash, I grab the eel with little trouble, which I consider very lucky. I put a lot of thought into this lifelong commitment before proposing to Shane in the place he was rude to me for months. Our relationship is full of red flags, but I've got rose-colored glasses, baby. I spent today slaying things of the mine without Monster Musk. I don't know what I was doing, and now neither do you. Today, I was determined to catch an octopus, and with the help of this bubble spot, I did. That's another fish off the list. On the 25th of summer, I forgot it was my wedding day, and I looked like this. I guess Shane still liked me when I was wearing a skull at the flower dance. Maybe looks don't matter to him. I don't know. I don't really know him that well. Anyways, we're married forever now. But I got work to do. I choose Mining Mastery as my second mastery choice, unlocking the Statue of the Dwarf King and the Heavy Furnace recipe. Then I head back to the ice mines to slay more bats. Truthfully, I wouldn't want to spend my wedding day any other way. I'm sure now the only reason Shane married me is for my keg empire, and I don't blame him. It's producing about 100k every week and growing. This is for sure the fastest I've made money in Stardew. On Ginger Island, Leo and I talk about my life in the valley. He seems really torn up about his place here, and Willie's determined to help him. Later that day, Leo and I walk down to the dock where he meets Linus, who can also speak bird. Linus, I did not know that was a thing you could do. I thought we were besties who shared everything. Leo decides to move to Stardew Valley to grow up with the other kids, as long as he can come back here and visit his bird family, and I'm excited to have him in the valley. Then he asks me if I think he could ever be a normal kid again. Kind of a lot of pressure to put on me there, but I say maybe. Leo says that maybe one day I'll be a part of his bird family, and I would love nothing more. Then his bird family fixes him a treehouse in the valley, and I can't. This is too much. This game really hits me in the feels sometimes, you know? Then George sent me rocks in the mail, and I'm right back to a normal Stardew Valley experience. Also, a weird frog looked at my melons, garlic, and wheat before giving me golden walnuts. This is a strange game. Now I've got 80 walnuts? How am I so slow at this? I just want to get behind that door. Back on my farm, I collect my last big summer harvest and prepare for a Skull Caverns run the next day. With luck on my side, it's a day for diving in the caverns. I decide to miss the Moonlight Jellies Festival because the run is actually going really well. I make it to floor 100 where Mr. Key calls me a cheater and gives me weird milk. Okay. And before I knew it, it was fall. I give Shane a kiss and head out to clear my dead crops and set up for the new season. Pierre was taking a day off today. Boy, if I could rob this man, I would. I left all my money on the counter and hoped Marnie wouldn't steal any of it. I wouldn't put it past her. Pumpkins are going to be my big cash crop this season. Maybe I'll even get a giant crop. I head to Ginger Island, and I don't remember fixing the beach resort, but I bet that's where Pierre was yesterday, that scumbag. Also, if Robin was single, hey, you know. It was raining on day 171, and without much to do, I went to the desert to refill on starfruit seeds. I checked on my forest neighbors and saw they needed dried purple mushrooms and eggs. Getting 5 purple mushrooms of the same quality is going to take a while. I kind of wish I'd gotten the mushroom cave. What a bummer. I spend the rest of the evening getting soaked in the rain and fishing for eel for cooking recipes. I continued to have no regrets about marrying Shane as he handed me over microwave pepper poppers for breakfast. Thanks, baby. I decided to finally finish the Dark Talisman quest, but I was stopped by the henchman. Lil Freak was in my way, so I went fishing. I caught a gold quality void salmon, which was the last thing I needed for the missing bundle. I donated the fish and the dinosaur mayo to finish the last bundle and send the final Junimo home. On Ginger Island, I played the mermaid her song during a storm, and during the night, the Junimos repaired the abandoned Jojo Mart. I started the day putting legendary fish in this tank Willie sent me, then headed to the quarry to add 27 more kegs to my keg empire. I make sure to give Elliot a birthday gift when he comes back from the island. I know there are Elliot fans out there, but I am not one of them. He's never interested me, and to be honest, I usually forget about him. I head back to the henchman with his favorite snack, void mayonnaise. Then I head inside the Wizard's X's place to grab his magic ink and head to Klitz to open geodes. I was shocked to get an auto petter out of a golden key box. I didn't know that could happen. I really like 1.6. Then on a picnic, Vincent asked if I had a boyfriend, and Penny said she was happy I wanted a big family, even though they were both at my wedding. Penny, that's kind of disrespectful, you know? And in front of your students. I chose Combat Mastery as my 3rd mastery, but most importantly, I finally got a new hat. Late in the night, Dr. Oink MD had a baby that I named just Nate. My beautiful baby grand pig, I think. I've lost track. The 7th of fall was a Skull Caverns day. I made it to floor 111 before calling it. I left with a bunch of goodies, but didn't take the bus home until I gave the dragon his last meal, a solar essence. I still don't understand that riddle. I checked on Just Nate this morning and was happy to see them happy. I picked up the Taro Root Island ingredient quest from the request board and headed to Ginger Island to work on that. I saw Pierre's shoulders, which felt illegal, and bought a bunch of stuff from this talking bird creature? I'm not sure. I used the bone fragments to trade for all the taro tubers I needed and spent hours planting all of them. I went to the east side of the island at night to hang out with the pirates and play darts for more golden walnuts. I'm usually pretty decent at this game, but I was terrible tonight. If you've noticed, I haven't done a Ginger Island staple yet. Simon Says. I am actually horrible at this game, and the last time I did it on stream, I had someone clip it so we could watch it in playback. If you want to watch my experience doing it this time in full, the clip is on my Patreon. But for now, here's a sneak peek. Oh my god, there's one more! Oh no, I don't know. Oh my god, I don't know. I think it's either green or purple. I literally forgot. I thought that was the end of the pattern. Like I said, if you want the full video along with monthly updates on me and the channel, check out my Patreon. Hope to see you there. But back on Ginger Island, I built the warp totem home. I was also able to enter Mr. Key's room where I could see how far I've gotten in perfection. 50%. That's better than I thought it was going to be. But I've still got a long ways to go. I end the night by starting to set up a couple kegs on the island. After a full day, I get a mysterious letter telling me to meet someone named Fizz in the watery cave, which I wrongly assumed to be the pirate's cave. I trek back to the dig site to find a totally trustworthy fellow willing to sell me perfection waivers for 500,000 gold for a percent? Thanks, but no thanks, Fizz. I'd rather only play Simon Says than pay that much for a percentage point of perfection. I'm gonna grind it out without you. I went to the volcano to search for more golden walnuts and left with a bunch of stuff and a new t-shirt. I added more pathing to the quarry today, then headed to the desert, fully intending on spending all my hard-earned money at the casino. Hell yeah, this is a gambling video now. I wanted the top hat for obvious reasons and the rare crow to try to complete the set of 8. I went to the slots machine and on my second spin, I doubled my 3,000 coins. And half a minute later, I won 3,000 more coins. Then, for the first time ever, I won the big jackpot and felt pretty good leaving the casino with my fancy top hat. I don't know what to spend the rest of these coins on, but I feel like I look pretty cool right now. It's a Ginger Island day where I replant the farm before a brief stint in the volcano. I head back to the valley to empty and refill my kegs with more ancient fruit and starfruit, cause the grind never stops, and neither do I. At the booksellers, I buy the Queen of Sauce cookbook. It immediately teaches me any of the Queen of Sauce recipes I've missed, which would have been helpful, I don't know, 179 days ago? I tried Junimo Kart Endless Mode for a key quest and realized I am horrifically bad at this game. I will be trying this and Fector's Quest on my Twitch streams, so be sure to follow me or subscribe to my VODs channel so you don't miss it. At my natural enemy, the Traveling Cart, I buy the Junimo catalog before heading to the Wizard's Tower to give him back his magic ink that I've had for, a little over a week. The wizard thanks me by allowing me to pay him to build the teleportation obelisks. Great, I need a lot more money. I've got most of the materials, but the bananas and dragon's teeth are gonna be a real pain. Today, on the rainiest of days, I moved my crab pots back from the beach to the river because I need a periwinkle for one of the cooking recipes. Then I make sure to give the rock eater a birthday present before heading to Ginger Island. On my way to the dig site, I found a new shirt and spent the day looking for fossils and dragon's teeth in the volcano. Today was another full day in the volcano looking for dragon's teeth to build the obelisk and buy a banana tree. The end game is where Stardew can get a little grindy for me, but I'm trying to get that 1% achievement. My taro roots had grown for the island ingredients quest. I harvested and shipped all of it before grabbing the Keys Prismatic Grange quest, where I have to place 100 red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple items in the box within 2 weeks. I don't usually have too much trouble with this quest. For orange, I use copper ore, for yellow, sap, and green, fiber. Everything else depends on what I've got a lot of, so I guess we'll see what I use. Back on Titty's farm, I have a field of pumpkins, furnaces, and tappers waiting for me. It's cool to see how far this farm has come and how bad I still am at decorating it. I head to the Mastery Cave and finally choose the Farming Mastery. If you're playing Stardew, I recommend choosing this mastery first. The Iridium Scythe lets you farm crops with it way faster than picking by hand. It is such a time saver. Such a silly goose for not grabbing it sooner. At the end of the day, I replant the fields with fairy rose flowers just to change it up a little. I start day 184 with a weird conversation with the hubby. before heading to the Stardew Valley Fair. I set up a Grange display just to see Pierre lose, then talk to everybody around the fair. Disappointingly, Vincent is too happy that his dad is back this year to say his iconic catchphrase. And when Jazz says moo, it's just not the same. I picked up a rare crow before leaving because I knew I needed all 8 to unlock the deluxe scarecrow recipe. But I wasn't really sure which one I was missing. I lined them all up at the farm and damn, it's the witch one. Just in time for Wicked. I'll be sure to grab that at the not Halloween festival. Then I teleported to the island so I could wake up there. I started my day harvesting and replanting starfruit before immediately teleporting back to my farm. Bit of a waste, I think, but we move. I went to Klitz to open up some bits and bobs, and I found the treasure appraisal guide, which allows my artifacts to sell for triple the price. Now, on the 6th of fall, when I unlocked the combat mastery skill, it made it so trinkets have been allowed to drop. Admittedly, I didn't know what that meant, and I refused to look it up. I've been actively collecting trinkets this whole time without digging into what they were, but when the parrot egg dropped in the mine, I had to check this one out. I was so excited about raising baby parrots because, you know, that's what you do with eggs in Stardew, you incubate them. But no, this was a trinket that gave me a little friend. Forget this basilisk paw, you're coming with me now, forever. With my new bird friend in tow, I went to the river to catch the fall's legendary fish, the angler. And because that was so easy, I went to the sewers to catch the mutant carp. Again, easy as can be. That's all the legendary fish caught. I don't know what the glacier fish and the crimson fish were up to. I swear they were way too difficult. Look at my glorious keg empire. 140 bottles of wine a week? Not too bad. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with the crops I need to maintain this, but that sounds like a problem for future me to figure out. Dang, over 400k gold in one day. Not too bad for a farmer from the big city, eh, Lewis? Back on Ginger Island, I head into Key's room to drop off the rest of the rainbow. After parting with cranberries, sap, blueberries, and void essences, I was rewarded with 35 key gems, some of which I spent on the recipe for magic bait. I went to the forge to enchant my pick and mining pan, then headed into the volcano to hunt for magma sprites and dragon's teeth. Day 188 was another volcano day that was going well, but due to poor time management, I passed out on my way back to the beach house. It's a bit of an L, but hey, this journey could be going better. It also could be going much, much worse. You'll never guess it, I spent the first half of the day back in the volcano. Then I headed back to the valley to replant the greenhouse and say hi to my husband, who I completely forgot about. I didn't want Skull Cavern to feel left out, so I went on this good luck day. I wasn't really trying for iridium here. I was making time to slay serpents and pepper rexes for monster slaying goals. I also got a new t-shirt, a new hat, and another exactly the same new hat. Very, very important. This has a 3.85% chance to drop in a treasure room, and I got it twice. This hat is my destiny. I was more than happy to pass out today with well over 200 iridium ore, making this my best run yet. I was back at Klitz today, asking him to smack stuff with his hammer. I can already tell gathering the last artifacts and minerals is going to be such a pain. Not really looking forward to it, but we do what we gotta do for the content, baby. Elliot had a reading of his new book in the library, and I couldn't focus because, do you see this? My parrot sits on top of my hat during cutscenes. That is so precious. I love this game. I haven't properly vocalized how searching for the same quality purple mushrooms has been an incredibly frustrating task for me to complete. But thanks to checking the wet cave today, I finally have enough to dry out for my forest neighbors. Call me Santa, because today was a big gifting day. Probus, Kent, and Sam all got presents because they like me the least and they're easy to please. I watched this beautiful montage of Leo's life in the valley, and when I tell you I was not emotionally prepared for this, y'all, I would protect these pixels with my life. I saw I only needed one more fish to have caught all the fish in Stardew Valley, and this one is a new one, added in 1.6. The goby lives in between the waterfalls at the bottom of the cindersap forest, and it's a pretty easy one to catch. With that, I've unlocked the Master Angler achievement, one step closer to perfection. This morning, I regifted Shane the same old microwave pizza he gave me to show my affection, and Willie sent me a 1,000-year-old family heirloom of a star drop? I feel like I shouldn't be the one to take this, but I won't say no to a gift unless it's from my husband. I took the dried purple mushrooms to the raccoon family and received a raccoon hat in return. 1, this feels like a weird gift, and 2, how big can their family get? By this point, I was in the middle of a key quest to gift 50 love gifts in the week. I ran around giving everyone gifts until I went to Elliot's house where I watched him play piano from the doorway, like a creep. On my way to give Harvey a coffee, I had an impromptu doctor's appointment. I wish healthcare was this easy in America. Afterwards, Harvey talked to a pilot in what is such a cute cutscene. If it wasn't for the mustache, this man might have been my favorite bachelor. Another huge keg day with profits to match. I should be able to start checking off the obelisks soon. I gifted Shane a morning beer and he asked if we should go to the Spirits Eve festival. That was kind of almost romantic, babe. Thanks. I decided to go back to Skull Caverns. I got an iridium sprinkler from a treasure floor and made it to floor 100. I'm loving the guaranteed treasure floor on floor 100. I think it's a really nice touch. I decided to take the bus home that night instead of passing out in the caverns for a change. Today was a day of more gift giving, starting with the wizard and moving along to Robin's house. I asked her to build a pet bowl because you can have more than one pet in Stardew now, and I already know who my next one's gonna be. Then I asked her to build a shed so I could start moving my machine field inside. Later, with the iridium scythe, I harvested all my fairy rose flowers, pumpkins, and artichokes. Every day, I wish I'd gotten this scythe sooner. In the evening, it was time for the festival, where I bought the jack-o'-lantern recipe and the witch rare crow. I was super excited to see the maze had changed this year. I got totally lost, but still had a lot of fun, especially when I found Leo participating in the festival. After a very full social day, Shane gave me a star drop on our doorstep, and now I think I'm missing the final star drop from... donating everything to the museum. Can't wait to grind geodes and artifact troves because Nepo baby Gunther won't do it himself. The 2 gift max to villagers resets every Sunday, so I spent all day gifting until I hit the 50 loved gifts goal. I actually love this key quest because it forces me to really focus on maxing relationships in a timely manner. It was a super fun way to end this fall season. Beautiful day 197 starts in winter with my man wearing a beanie. You were losing me, Shane, but now I'm back in it. Beanies look good on everyone. Jody sent me some fertilizer when there is snow on the ground. Truly useless, Jody. Read the room. I checked my fruit bat cave for, I believe, the first time in weeks to find it nearly full. I will not be checking it more often. I think it's fun this way. I'm going to be spending a lot of winter on Ginger Island, so I make a couple solar panels to take there, then spend my morning using my seed makers to turn ancient fruits into seeds. If I had known how much time I'd spend this season here, in front of seed makers, I might have done things differently. I also discovered that a jack-o'-lantern I stole from town turned into a rotten plant. This is an item I've never seen before. It's kind of gross, but fun. On Ginger Island, I start planting ancient fruit and add even more iridium sprinklers. I wish I'd waited because this quest, Keys Crop. This is what I will spend so much of winter working on. If you don't know this quest, doing random things all over the valley will produce key beans. They grow pretty quickly and you need to ship 500 of the fruit they produce by the end of the season, which means putting fruit into seed makers to make even more beans. It's a vicious cycle and it nearly breaks me every time I do it. I set up bee houses around a fairy rose seed to eventually produce fairy rose honey as a little extra money source. I've been steadily donating fossils to the Field Museum, and when I saw I needed one more, I went fishing to find it. Finally completing the field office. See ya, Professor Snail. Thanks for nothing. Well, I take that back. Finishing the field office rewards us with an ostrich egg incubator. And when I hoe up this tile, now I've got myself a new bird to incubate. I don't know if the egg being buried in the sand for who knows how long will affect it, but I'm not too worried. I make sure to plant the handful of key beans I found back on my farm, since you can plant them in any season. In the morning, I head to Klitz to upgrade my pan, then head to the wizard to ask him to build my first obelisk. If you don't know about obelisks, they'll teleport you to wherever the warp totem takes you on either the beach, mountains, Ginger Island, or the desert. The ones for the desert and Ginger Island are pretty essential for late game, and the other ones are super cute. I built the water obelisk, which will take me to the beach. Late in the evening, I fished for a squid to finally place in my fish pond. I need it for recipes and squid ink. Wow. Here we are. 200 days. I've accomplished so much. And you get to see another 24 days before this part is over. Yay for both of us. Today was another pretty basic Skull Cavern run, but I wasn't here for Iridium. I was here for the beans. I found that doing a Skull Caverns run at the beginning of the Keys Fruit quest really makes things easier in the long run, because you'll find a bunch of beans blowing stuff up. I found 14 of them and left early because I wanted to harvest my keg farm before bed. It's taking me longer and longer, but I'm almost making 500,000 weekly, just from wine. After gathering oak resin and wasting my time at the traveling cart, I head to the Wizard's Tower to construct my second obelisk. I also moved my obelisks to try to, design something on my farm. With all the oak resin, I made 24 more casks, then put them to work in the quarry. I spent the rest of the day working on crafts, and when I tried the treasure totem I unlocked from Foraging Mastery, I realized that if I want artifacts, I need to wait until after the Keys Crop quest is done. Some of my key fruit have grown. This little face heaves my jeebs, and I don't quite know why. Remember when I said I was spending a lot of time in front of my seed makers this season? This is why. I turned my 25 fruit into 49 beans and get to work replanting them. I only need 500 fruit. Shouldn't be too bad. I gave Caroline a gift for her birthday, and then she immediately told me how to piss Pierre off. If it was an option, I would happily break up this marriage just to make Pierre miserable. On Ginger Island, I saw my mans in a t-shirt, then rebuilt the Parrot Express so I can zip around the island. The day of the fishing festival, I harvested more key fruit to turn into beans. Demetrius said something really weird at the ice festival. See, this is why the Stardew community doesn't like you, man. I cleaned up at the fishing contest again, making this a short but sweet festival day. Harvest, propagate, plant. This is my morning routine that takes well into the afternoon. I made some geode crushers so I don't have to give Clit as much money, but it turns out you can't crush mystery boxes or golden coconuts in them, which feels like an oversight concerned ape. I want to avoid seeing Clint ever again, please. I headed to the Adventurers Guild to see where I was at with slaying monsters. I picked up the wizard's hat and slime ring because I'd vanquished enough skeletons and slimes. Looks like I'll have to go out of my way for the void sprites, but everything else will probably happen naturally. I had a terrible thought while making more key beans today. I think I want to try the 999 challenge. If you haven't heard of this impossible Stardew challenge, it's a challenge made by the algorithm, where you try to collect 999 of every stackable item. This means crafting, artisan goods, cooking, 999 of everything. I don't want to finish it, that seems like way too much, but I think I want to try it. So if you see me starting to keep artifacts and random things, this is why. Check back at the top of 2026 to see if I've actually tried the challenge at all. I want to give it a shot for about a year. It could be fun or complete torture. I stopped at Clit's to have him upgrade my pan and open some boxes. Then my raccoon neighbors asked for some winter root juice and pickled snow yams. Thank goodness it's winter season. I'll help you out, little guys. Thankfully, standing in front of a seed maker was followed up by a giant keg harvest. Then I scurried to Ginger Island to start switching out my star fruit farm for ancient seeds. While I was on the island, I picked up Mr. Key's quest, Danger in the Deep, which turns the regular mines into dangerous ones, and I have to get to the bottom. I head back to Stardew Valley to give it a shot, and I forgot how frustrating these mines are without staircases. I go far enough to open the first elevator stop, then run home with my tail between my legs. I'm back in the dangerous mines today, and I wish I'd bought the Galaxy Hammer, but I'm feeling stingy for some reason, so I struggle all day. I make it to floor 23, but decide to leave as it gets late, so I have time to plant my key beans before bed. I'm how many days into this key crop challenge before I get fed up and decide to make a couple more seed makers. I'm processing dozens of fruits a day now, and it is taking way too long, but those key gems are so worth it. Also, I've got this big chest inside that I've been keeping extra artifacts and minerals in. I'm coming for you, 999 challenge. It's on, but like in a casual way. I make it down to the forest floors in the dangerous mines. I love the vibes, but everything is so much tougher here. Actually, I lied. I hate the vibes. These mushrooms freak me out. And at night, was it a secret or did I forget to write it down? Either way, surprise, I gave birth to a baby boy that I named Charlie. Just like I have all my starter Pokemon since high school. I could take care of my newborn child today, or I could go back in the mines. And I think you know which one I chose. I found not one, but 2 Knight's helmets today. I made it all the way down at the bottom with the help of staircases. That's even more key gems for me, thank you. Shane says that we need to give our baby lots of eggs, which leads me to immediately check on my newborn. For the first time, my little ball of pixels is sleeping soundly, and I couldn't be more proud. I planted more key beans and shipped the first batch of fruit because I couldn't be bothered to make more sprinklers. That's 77 shipped, only 423 more to go. In the evening, I brought the pickled yams and juice to my raccoon neighbors, who gave me some fairy dust. They're looking to expand their family, and I can't wait. With the night market in town, I got to see Linus walking down to the beach and search a trash can to see this special dialogue. When I got to the market, I said hello to everyone, then bought a cone hat. I look amazing. Back on the farm, I turned my furnaces into heavy furnaces to try to make smelting a little more efficient. My husband told me to take care of the baby so I can run the farm, as if that's not what I do every day. I harvested and propagated more face fruit, then with all this keg money burning a hole in my pocket, I went to the wizards to buy the desert obelisk, then arranged them in this kind of semicircle thing. One more obelisk to go, and this one is by far the hardest. I went to Ginger Island to harvest my star fruit, but realized I don't have any more seeds. So I went to the desert, bought seeds, then came back to Ginger Island to plant those seeds because I'm actually very good at this game. Also, I picked up the 4 Precious Stones quest, which means there's another Skull Caverns trip in my future. 62% to perfection, getting closer every day. I really gotta pick it up with the crafting recipes. I also pick up the key to the town, because I'm ready for some breaking and entering. I'm back on the farm with a pretty big face fruit harvest. The Iridium scythe is so nice. Please go for farming mastery first. don't be a fool like me. I've brought my cinder shards back from Ginger Island, which is exactly what I need to craft the ostrich incubator. I set it up with the egg in the barn. I can't wait to welcome my new little friend. I take my 104 key fruit and put them in the seed makers until I have around that many beans to replant. Then the rest go to shipping. I pick up my iridium pan from Klitz, then run around talking to everyone to try to work on friendship levels. Leo and Kent aren't my besties yet, which is honestly rude at this point. Come on, you've known me for less than a year. Why aren't we homies yet? Then, using the wiki, I learned to head behind Clint's to find a secret golden trash can in the woods. This weird piece of Pelican Town contains the Alleyway Buffet, a book that makes it so items are 20% more likely to appear in trash cans. But that's not all the reading I do tonight. First, I play Not Dungeons & Dragons with Sam and Sebastian, then I burst through the Adventurers Guild to find this very obvious box in the back containing mapping cave systems, which gives me a 50% discount on recovery items. Once I read that, another achievement pops up showing I'm the best reader in the valley. These 2 key quests are really controlling my winter. I need prismatic shards and 300 more key fruit. But it's a keg day, and after the harvest, I'm able to place 21 more kegs, making this empire expand onto the bridge. I don't actually know how many plants I have set up right now. If I did, I wouldn't spend so much time here. I'm back in the regular mines with Monster Musk trying to clear out the void spirit population. So sorry, Krobus, it has to be done for perfection. While slashing, I found my first golden animal cracker. I unlocked these with farming mastery, and monster slaying is the rarest way to get one at 0.15%. It's cool because when you feed this to any animal other than pigs, it doubles their production output, making sheep almost not useless. Marnie, Jazz, and I see Shane coming out of the bar in the middle of the afternoon. We're worried he started drinking again, but don't ask him about it at all. And why would I? He talks about drinking at home all the time, so I know he never stopped. My heavy furnaces are making quick work of all my gold and iridium. Making these upgrades was totally worth it. I head to Ginger Island to keep up with my starfruit production. I also plant an absurd amount of pine cones because I need a lot of wood. And I still need to conserve my money to buy that $10 million golden clock. My island looks silly now, but I hope it'll be worth it. I plan to head to Skull Caverns tomorrow to try to do a run, but luck is against me on day 217, so I take care of the face fruit harvesting and replanting before trading for staircases and spicy eel at the desert trader. After coming back, I apparently accuse Shane of drinking again, which he takes offense to, for obvious reasons. To quell any emotions I feel towards this man, I head to his aunt's to adopt a little white cat that I named Toast after my girlfriend's little kitten. Here's a picture of real life Toast. She's cute and very evil. I also stole Lewis's shorts finally. Damn, Marnie, you've had this man's shorts on your floor for how long, girl? Get over him. I checked the traveling cart to find a picture of Shane? This is new. Who painted this? I'll take it. I hang this painting up in case I forget what my husband looks like, then head to the mine to finish off the void spirits. It's a money-making day, babes. My aged wine is finally ready. Was it worth it? No. But here it is anyway. Marnie and I spy on Shane outside of the saloon because there's no trust in our relationship. I burst in to see what secret he's keeping from me, only to find my man playing a video game and drinking soda. Oops. Sorry, Shane. Marnie is a terrible influence. I gave Leo a duck feather and tried to butter Kint up with a daffodil since his love gifts are a bit hard to come by. Wild that Lewis wears his full business outfit on the beach. Freak. I put a banana on the strange altar to get to meet a gorilla. Alright. Was all that wine worth fermenting? You be the judge. Today I went to Skull Caverns to hunt for the 4 prismatic shards for Key's quest. Just for funsies, here's everything important that happened on this run. My first treasure floor on floor 17 had some bombs, and the next one on 38 had spicy eel. Then I fell really far and found some farm warp totems. Floor 76 had the first of 4 prismatic shards I was looking for. On 77 there were some super meals, but more importantly, there was a red cowboy hat on floor 100. Yeehaw. 102 was a Pepper Rex floor, and like the comet, I took out the entire dino population. Floor 127 had an auto grabber, and floor 131 had that second prismatic shard, followed quickly by floor 141 with that third prizzy. 151 had tomato seeds, and 180 had a couple rain totems. 185 had the final prismatic shard I needed for the quest, but things were going well, so I continued my descent. Floor 200 had some stupid cactus seeds and a seafoam pudding, and I actually made it all the way down to floor 240 before passing out. This is my haul. Not too bad. Today is a wonderful day, my friends, for I have finished the stupid Keys crop quest with this last shipment of face fruit. Everyone please clap for me. I crafted a bunch of stuff today, including the anvil and the statue of the Dwarf King. I made a bunch of braziers and a couple mini obelisks so I can teleport from my house to my shed. Later on Ginger Island, I chop down some trees and refill my kegs before watching Santa cross the sky. Happy not Christmas, everyone! After harvesting from my kegs and refilling my casks, I head into town to celebrate the Feast of the Winter Star. My husband is here, and he has said some shockingly sweet things to me, but neither of us brought our newborn baby. Shane, we might be bad parents. I gave George a leek, his favorite thing. Then I got an emerald from Gus. Thank you, buddy. I only have 40 of these. I put up a holiday tree as an apology to my child that I forgot at home. I'm back on the island to hand in my prismatic shards, which I forgot the last time I came to Ginger Island. I get the last couple recipes and Pierre's missing stock list from Key. I decide to do another run in the volcano because I still need a bunch of dragon teeth. After building the bridge and making it through all 10 floors, I find a whopping 1 dragon's tooth. I need to find a better way to farm these. I am clueless. I harvest half my starfruit and go to bed, feeling pretty defeated. But seeing little Charlie growing up makes me feel a bit better, so I launch them into the sky to celebrate all I've accomplished this year. I make and deliver some roasted hazelnuts to Kent because they're a loved gift, and he is the only one not to be my bestie yet. Rude. At Klitz, I have him open all the geodes I've collected and find 2 more minerals to donate. I guess that is technically closer to completing the museum. Then in the evening, I go to the Adventurers Guild where I see I've finished all the slaying tasks except for more Pepperexes and serpents. More Skull Cavern runs in my future. As a reward for slaying monsters, Gil gives me Marlin's telephone number, which would be cool except I don't have a phone. I craft a couple more things to round out the night, including the Statue of Blessings. I make sure to tie up a couple loose ends on my last day of year 2. I fulfill my raccoon neighbor's quest and give Kent a final daffodil to get him up to his max hearts. 65% perfection is pretty good, but I know I can finish it within the next year, if those dragon teeth don't become a problem. Before year 3 even starts, Grandpa comes down to tell me the future of Titties is in my hands now. The farm is named Titties, and this is a wild way to start year 3. Ignore how weird it was that my grandpa said that to me and throw my child into the ceiling. Then I get to work, starting to fix my farm for spring. I'm way closer to perfection than I even realized. I need to ship a couple more things, find 5 more things for the museum, and cook 3 dishes. Of course, I still have the desert obelisk and golden clock to think about, but I'm sure those won't be a pain. Well, look at that! My ostrich hatched. I named her Thneed, because everybody needs a Thneed. At Pierre's, I buy hundreds of seeds, because I have no idea how many tiles I have set up with sprinklers, but it's probably less than 400. Then Vincent shows me how to clean my spring onions. Gross! I end this very long day finishing planting my cauliflower and potatoes. I started today by knocking one of those recipes out. 3 more to go, and I can get what I need for the next one on Ginger Island. So I head there to replant my starfruit fields and check on my perfection tracker. 65% ain't bad, but it's the last 35% that's the most difficult. I head into the Pirate's Cave to catch a stingray to replace my squid in the fish pond. Full stingray ponds have a 5% chance to produce dragon teeth. I need a lot of those for the obelisk and other crafting recipes. I need all the help I can get, even if it's just a small chance. I stay on the island late to catch a midnight carp, then head back to the valley to immediately turn it into seafoam pudding. With only cooking on the brain, I head into town to harvest a crayfish from my crab pots. I turn it into fish stew, earning me the gourmet chef achievement. Hell yeah, I knocked this out so quickly. I can't wait to finish everything else quickly. I spend most of the day in the dangerous mines before heading back to Ginger Island to collect the stingray I forgot there. Then I empty out my squid pond to give my little stingrays a new home. I spend the first part of the day rearranging my fishing chests, then head to Skull Caverns. It's a short run today where I'm focusing on gathering stone for building even more fish ponds. Then I head back to gather my first keg harvest of the season. Filling kegs feels like taking an eye exam. I'm looking for any that don't pulse, and I never feel like I've gotten them all. With 201 wines, I feel pretty good, but I want to make even more kegs to hit that 10 million gold for the golden clock as quickly as possible. I go to the traveling cart to get upset. Then I harvest everything from my tappers and head back to the dangerous mines, only to give up on floor 19. This place is really challenging for someone who's really bad at Stardew. I'll be back with more staircases. I head back to the farm and spend the rest of the day working my way through the crafting menu. On day 230, I start the day buying starfruit from the desert, then I head to Ginger Island to conquer my biggest enemy in Stardew, a Simon Says puzzle. I recorded this with Facecam for my Patreon subscribers. Here's a quick clip. but I just can't remember things this quickly. If you want to see the full thing, check out my Patreon for other behind the scenes of recording and monthly updates on me and the channel. My day was spent using so many staircases to descend the dangerous mines. I do what I gotta for the key gems though. I make it down to floor 50 where a grub drops a galaxy soul? This feels so lucky and new, maybe? I'm not sure. I leave pretty shortly after to get home to check on my forest neighbors, who I love, and the traveling cart, which disappoints me. To wrap up my day, I give an amethyst to Emily, who then kisses me. And just like that, I've cheated on the father of my child. Whoops. Sorry, Shane. My bad. I harvest all my potatoes today with that beautiful iridium scythe. Then I decide to ship an ostrich egg to get closer to finishing my full shipping menu. I head to the ice mines to search for frozen geodes for my forest friends. Then I finish their request, earning me an ostrich egg. This one I decide to keep. My husband was spending time with his niece. This is nice. I don't know if I've ever seen them hang outside before. I head to Robin's where she said she could build a house for Pam if I pay for it and supply all the materials. I said no, another fish pond, please. I got the achievement for full shipment this morning and Shane complimented me on my efficiency with sprinklers. Thanks, baby. I went to Pierre's to buy parsnip seeds. I made more sprinklers and I'm expanding my farm in preparation for strawberry season. I wasted my money at Klitz, then learned you can walk on the boat when it leaves for Ginger Island. Hey, look at me go. I add some more ancient seeds to my field and see that I'm still missing 5 golden walnuts. I don't know where they are. This will haunt me. After spending an extensive amount of time on the wiki, I realize I missed this walnut. 4 to go. The parrot tells me there are 3 more in the west, and I'll be back for you golden walnuts. At the beach, I find a new shirt and buy the fish smoker recipe from Willie. At the Adventurers Guild, I see I still need a couple more pepper rexes and serpents before finishing the monster eradication goals. So I head to Skull Cavern to get a little closer to finishing. Happy keg day, everyone. Best day of the week. With 280 plus kegs, I'm feeling pretty good, but wait, what is that? Am I driving the bus? Truly, what do we employ Pam for? I mean, seriously. I ended the day in the caverns hunting for serpents. Wait, did that one drop a houseplant? I never thought I would say this on the internet, but I need wood. So I chopped down the entire cindersap forest to eventually turn into more kegs and chests. Speaking of kegs, I made some more, then added them to the quarry. I visited my good buddy Krobus and bought the wizard catalog from him. I also added more crystallariums to my shed to end the night. The morning of the egg hunt, I checked out the wizard's catalog to see him once again complaining about his ex-wife. Starting to get a good idea of why she left you, buddy. I saw Shane holding his chicken. Damn, this man is cute sometimes. Then after buying a bunch of strawberries from Pierre, I checked in on Leo. He was playing with Jazz and Vincent and thought the egg hunt was weird. Fair point, kid. I once again demolished at the egg festival for the 3rd year in a row. Hey, if it wasn't me, it'd be Abigail, and I can't let her feel joy. Today, I harvested nearly my entire farm to plant more strawberry seeds, only to realize that I had severely underestimated how many I needed. I headed to Pierre's to buy more stupid cauliflower seeds before heading home to plant them. The traveling cart was useless, so I headed to Robin's, not to build Pam a house, but to build another fish pond. She already has a house. My fish live in a chest. I'm being fair. On the farm, another ostrich was born who I named Ulfric because of course I did. This morning, I headed straight to the second egg-themed festival this season. I know what's up now, and I want those calico eggs. I went to Skull Caverns and hunted for eggs until I hit a spiral floor on 55 and left because I didn't want to deal with it. Now with the full festival open, it's time to explore. I checked out Jody and Kent's shops, then got a new look from Emily and Sandy. How on theme! With any luck, this thing has come out during late December, so happy holidays, everyone! I head home to set up my new cactus friend, then replace all the spring forageables that I planted for a quest. Because of a decent luck day, I'm back in Skull Caverns looking for more calico eggs. My goal with the Adventurers Guild was to get to floor 30, which I do with ease, but I decided to go a bit further just for funsies. Emily and Vincent are my shopkeeps today, and she's selling a prismatic shard for 500 eggs. Seems pretty fair, actually. I completely buy out Vincent's shop because his silly inventory made me laugh, and I love him. Then I see what happens with the clothing booth when it's just Sandy working. It's so cool that this was accounted for in the design, and I am now a cowboy. I find Linus at a trash can and grow concerned when he says he hitched a ride underneath the bus. Linus, I could have paid for your ticket, or you could have used my obelisk? My god, that's unsafe. I spend the rest of the night working on crafting things and organizing chests before a fairy grows some of my crops. Thank you, I guess. On the final day of the desert festival, I, once again, grab a quest from Marlin, then head into the caverns. This time I'm looking for Omnigeodes, but go until level 50 just for giggles. I see Leo and Penny are the vendors for today, but the best part is my new favorite quote from Vincent. His expression, the excitement, it's all perfect. This is a child with undiagnosed ADHD, and I relate to him. I buy Penny's frying pan, then have Emily pick out my outfit for the last time this year. I'm a sailor now. Thank you. I buy a banana sapling from Leo, and that's how I ended my desert festival. For a change of pace, I went right back to Skull Caverns to do a semi-proper run. I found a new blue hat and auto petter and ended up with over 120 iridium before leaving because during this run, I finished slaying both the serpents and the pepperexes, completing my monster eradication goals. I collect my napalm ring and knight's helmet, then talk to Gil, who is once again not impressed with anything I've done. Glad I did all that work for you, man. Be seeing you never. Since I forgot to do it yesterday, Friday will be my new keg day. Today, I added 31 more kegs, bringing my total kegs to 339. I'm gonna have to find a new place to put kegs soon because the quarry is pretty much full at this point. I planted some garlic to end the day because I need to make oil of garlic in the crafting menu, and I need 10 bulbs of garlic for that. I wasn't expecting to begin today with such hot gossip, but Leo asked me if I thought Jazz would ever like a guy like him. I couldn't handle it, so I decided to pay my excitement forward and pay to upgrade Pam's trailer to a house. But I couldn't be too happy, so I headed to Klitz to open 60 plus Omnigeodes, only to find 2 new items for the museum, one of which I'd accidentally put in my chest a long time ago. My bad, y'all. But now I only need 3 more things to complete the museum. I went to Ginger Island to harvest and replant my starfruit field. I also added more sprinklers because my keg empire is expanding and I've got to keep up with 330 plus crops a week now. I also chopped down those trees I'd been growing and checked on my perfection progress. 78% ain't bad. I'm happy with that. I started today visiting my girl Sandy in the desert to buy 600 starfruit seeds. With how much I'm buying plus the illegal casino in the back, this woman must be loaded. I stay supporting local businesses, even stupid Pierre. At the traveling cart, I buy some pickles and a rare seed because as much as I love to hate it, this place is going to be crucial for the 999 challenge. I see the raccoons need some dried mushrooms and eggs, and I can do that. I head to Ginger Island to try to fish up more stingrays to fill my ponds. I barely catch any, but I do get 3 frog statues that I set up to decorate. Cute! I hand deliver the raccoon family their dried mushrooms and eggs, and get the coffee maker from Evelyn in the mail as a thank you for delivering all those leeks. Then I head to the sewer to request a change in fishing profession. I need the elvish jewelry as the last artifact, and I can get that from dig spots in the forest, artifact troves, or with a 0.7% chance from fishing chests. It's not a very high chance, but I'm desperate at this point. I spend the rest of the day doing a volcano run for Dragon's Teeth, where I leave with a whopping singular tooth. Frustrating, but we move. I pick up a key quest to get to level 100 in the caverns without eating or drinking. That's what staircases are for. Easy peasy. I went to choose the profession for fishing that night and chose wrong. I need the one that makes treasures more common. It's a waste of 10k, so I will be resetting this again. On day 247, I go straight to Skull Caverns to spam staircases until I find a white turban as a new hat. I love that I get to see my cute little face again. I make it down to floor 100 with no problem. Then on my way into town, I see Robin has finished Pam's new house. I make sure to keep it anonymous because even though I fully disagree with the morality of letting Pam have the only driving job in town as a belligerent alcoholic, I think everyone deserves a home. I do think it's rude that Pam's house is cuter than mine. I head back into the sewers to reset my fishing professions again and choose the right path this time to get more of a chance at treasure chests. I put that new profession to work before the flower dance and come up empty-handed. I then head to the dance, which I will be boycotting if Vincent doesn't get to be the flower queen. Then my bumbling mess of a husband and I dance together where we reminisce on our kind of first date. Aww. I make sure to gather some tea leaves that I can only get at the end of the season before making a solar panel to keep here on the farm. I head to the secret woods because I really need a morel to craft the life elixir, and I'm finally lucky enough to get one. I kind of regret choosing the fruit bat cave. I run home to complete the recipe, and I'm left with 6 more crafting recipes. The mini forge, ginger island warp, oil of garlic, warrior ring, tub of flowers, and the hopper. Most of these are pretty annoying to make, and 2 of them need dragon teeth. Perfection is a challenge for a reason. I don't know why Robin asks what I want when I come in. Another fish pond, please. Make it snappy. Then on Ginger Island, I buy a game-changing item. A horse flute. Now I can bring my buddy Spork everywhere. I love him. I went to the dwarf to buy more bombs, then straight to Skull Caverns. It was a pretty bad run, so I decided to leave early to harvest my kegs. I drive myself back since clearly Pam can't be bothered after her new house. I rush to try to finish refilling my kegs and wonder if I'm able to get 300 plus kegs filled before I have to go home. Turns out, I can't. So I have to finish refilling my kegs the next morning. The perfection tracker says I'm still missing 4 golden walnuts, and I spend most of the day retracing my steps to see which ones I've missed. I find one past Key's room and another much later hidden on the beach. I'm losing it a bit, wondering where these are. So I dedicate day 252 to finishing the quest for walnuts. I realize with the help of the wiki that I'm missing one from the top right of the island. I struggle quite a lot with figuring out this very simple path. Embarrassing. The parrot in Leo's hut tells me the last walnut is hidden in the north. After Leo thanks me for all the walnuts I've found so far, I know that choosing today to hunt for walnuts was the right choice. I head to the north part of the island, only to realize I've missed a fairly obvious one above the dig site. And that's all the walnuts found. What a relief. I didn't have to pay that Joja bird a single dime. I've just got a splitting headache, but at least I saved some money. I head back to my farm to do the final spring harvest to find a big crop. This is pretty cool. I think I'm gonna leave it for a while. What a neat way to end the season. The summer season has begun as usual. I clear up my dead crops and see my giant crop has survived. Hooray! I wasn't sure how this worked. I head to Pierre's to buy a bunch of seeds, including the ones I need for the tub of flowers recipe. Back on the farm, I make the tub of flowers. Silly name, by the way, meaning I only need to make 5 more craftables. I also add even more sprinklers to account for new summer crops. I buy some starfruit seeds and water late into the night, but don't quite finish. My crops are going to grow at different rates, so sorry to everyone that will bother. Luckily, it's raining today, so I spend some time actually trying to plan out a farm layout. I add some stone walkways to connect the warp pipe, the north entrance, and the east entrance. It's not a bad start, but I'm at a loss of what to do next. I head to Klitz to open more geodes and strike out with the first set. I just need granite and aragonite to finish my materials. After running out of Omni geodes and switching to regular ones after a couple cracks, I finally got granite. I ran to donate it to the museum. I just need an aragonite for minerals, and that has better odds of coming out of frozen geodes. I'll definitely be farming those later. On the beach, I ran into Sebastian, moping in the rain. We shared an umbrella. Even though I'm married, I'm a floozy and proud. On the 3rd of summer, I went to the desert. I had a pretty decent Skull Cavern run that day that really made me wish Pierre had another backpack upgrade. When trying to collect battery packs at the end of the night, I accidentally warped to the mountains and had to run back before passing out. Don't be like me. My forest neighbors had another quest for me this morning, and I'll help you out soon, pals. More importantly, I've finally decided where my keg empire is expanding to. Through the bus stop and eventually to the tunnel. I add 20 more kegs here and fill them with ancient fruit. This really will help me get that golden clock money. So why didn't anyone tell me you can replace chests with a click? This is a game changer. I wish I had known it 255 days ago. I deliver bat wings and sea urchins to my raccoon friends and get a Stardrop tea. Then I head to Ginger Island to harvest and replant the starfruit fields before finding a void frog egg in the volcano. I'm sorry, parrot friend, but I've always liked frogs more. No, really, this frog sidekick is the one I was most excited to get. I take the Parrot Express back to the volcano with my new hoppin' pal to continue my hunt for teeth. Call me the Tooth Fairy, cause I'm looking for molars. I had a pretty great run today and wind up with 4 dragon teeth. This is great progress. I'm really happy about it, mostly because I hate doing volcano runs. I return to the valley, check on the traveling cart, then make and place 15 more kegs. I should have learned that 9 p.m. was too late to refill 300 plus kegs, but I didn't, and run out of time yet again. Now, Saturday is my keg day, and I'll do my best to remember to start earlier. I collect from my tapper farm, crystallariums, and furnaces before heading into the secret woods. At the rate I'm making kegs, I need all the wood I can get. And I decided to grab a new hat from the Hat Mouse because I've been rocking this turban for a good minute now. With the archer's cap on my head, I chop trees well into the night, finishing Robin's resource rush for maybe the 3rd time by this point. With the greater chance to find geodes as my blessing from the dwarf statue, I knew today was the day to hunt for aragonite. I headed to refresh the ice levels to look for frozen geodes, and after running into a monster floor, I left to crush the whopping 5 geodes I'd found so far. UI Info Suite told me none of the geodes were my precious Aryanites, so I went back to the mines. I cleared out entire floors only to leave with 5 more frozen geodes. Maybe that blessing was a sham, but on cracking this set, the 4th one was Aryanite. I truly couldn't believe it. I'm done with the minerals to fill the museum. I rushed to the museum to donate what I found. Now I only need that stupid elvish jewelry, and I'll have done Gunther's whole job for him. Then he'll have to love me. I head to Ginger Island to harvest ancient fruit and fairy rose honey before deciding that I want to have a bad time. I accept Key's crops yet again and brace myself for the pain of this quest by heading to the volcano to play dentist to the local lava lurk population. I was in the volcano well into the night, and I ended up leaving at 1:30 a.m. Turns out if you do that, call your horse, take the Parrot Express, you can make it to bed on time. This shocked me. Apparently not having learned my lesson, and because of a need for teeth, I head back into the volcano, also hunting for beans this time. Despite traversing all 10 floors, I came out with 1 tooth, but 15 beans. It's not nothing, but it feels close to it. Back in the valley, I make around 30 more kegs that I set out by the bus stop. I may not have teeth, but I can guarantee that I'll have wine. Right before heading home, I decided to double back for a worm spot where I found a new beanie. Slay, I'd wear this in real life. Love me a beanie. Now, that's a lot of red cabbage I'm harvesting. Why? Well, for the polyculture achievement. I need to ship 15 of most crops, and red cabbage was one of the ones I'm missing. If you see me plant quite a few of seemingly random crops, this is why. I make a couple more iridium sprinklers, then head to plant my key beans on the island. All of my rhubarb instead of starfruit can also be explained with polyculture. I need to ship some more of the rhubarb too. I have my most successful day of dentistry yet, finding 5 teeth in the volcano. I truly wasted so much time asking Robin to build those fish ponds. They still haven't given me 1 tooth. Oh, wait, what is that? There, on my screen. Oh, great. An alien left their experiment on my farm. Now I gotta deal with an alien capsule. These raccoons want some truly random things. Cave carrot juice and pickled summer squash. I got you guys, but I'm starting to have questions. My fish ponds have no teeth, but that's okay because I've continued my mayo soup tradition at the luau. This never gets old. It makes me laugh every time. With that last good day in the volcano, I finally have the 10 dragon teeth I need to build the final obelisk. And what does the wizard have to say? Oh, that he hates his ex? Yeah, that checks out. This man is disappointing, but never surprising. But hey, 4 out of 4 obelisks. I'm really proud. I've never gotten this far in Stardew. I'm officially in unfamiliar perfection-based territory. I decide to knock out some more of those final crafting recipes. Here's the warrior ring. Done. I make the oily garlic in the kitchen. Then with one of my 2 radioactive bars, here's the hopper. Funnily enough, I didn't have any ginger on the mainland, so I had to head to the island to find my stash of ginger to make the island warp totem. Great. Now I just need 4 more dragon teeth to make the mini forge. Hopefully my ponds will finally come in handy. I celebrate with another full keg day. It'll be a bit before all my kegs are in sync, but with 374 bottles of wine a week, I can't complain. I'll be getting that golden clock in no time. Oh, also, I guess I'm pregnant again? Wouldn't it be cool if my fish ponds were full of dragon teeth today? They aren't. At least my fields are full of melons. I replaced them with starfruit and continue planting starfruit on Ginger Island. I've grabbed my seed makers from the greenhouse and brought them here to make more head fruit beans. I spend some time deforesting until I find a new t-shirt. This is an outfit I would wear in real life, and I don't know how to feel about that. I head back to my farm to pick up some extra sprinklers, then plant the new key beans I found around them. I hate this quest, but I love key gems. I pick up the retro catalog from the traveling cart, then head to the desert to pick up 200 starfruit seeds and 190 staircases. I search the trash cans for another new catalog, but come up empty-handed. Then I decide to explore a secret that I saw online. If you use a staircase in Mayor Luce's home, apparently he has a secret basement? I walk through this weird barrel maze to pick up more of his shorts, and oh my god, I'm being attacked by flying boxers. After almost dying to powerful underwear, Lewis casually says, "Good evening." Hey man, that's weird, and definitely against some building code. I have so many questions. To make a mockery of our mayor, I take a gold bar and make gold-trimmed shorts. Is it strange to be wearing embroidered boxers of a government official as pants? Yes, but flying evil underwear is weirder. Ah, great. Green Rain Day. I can't have one normal day in the valley as a simple wine mogul, can I? Well, I spend the whole day harvesting moss from the forest. What'll I do with it? I have no idea, but at least I got it. I start today with more face fruit beans. I add even more sprinklers to my island farm to accommodate, then head to Pierre's to buy some DSG to speed up this process. I deliver the cave carrot juice to the raccoons and receive fairy dust that I will be saving forever for the 999 challenge. I decide to up my battery production and make 6 more solar panels. I need batteries for crystallariums, to make jade, to get staircases, to go deeper in skull caverns, to get iridium, to make solar panels. It's a vicious cycle. At the end of the night, I remember to fertilize my face fruit plants and hope to have a skull cavern run tomorrow. But luck is not on my side for day 269, so instead of skull, I head to the volcano. I blew up a dragon tooth and had to really sit with myself for this one. I was really frustrated, but I still managed to leave with 2, so it wasn't a total loss. But I am a total loser. I hoped for a good luck day, but again was met with disappointment. I went to the volcano to look for the last couple teeth I needed, and they say doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Call me insane, baby, because going for perfection in Stardew Valley is driving me crazy. And these teeth are 99 of my problems. But with the death of one lava lurk, I had the 2 teeth I needed for the mini forge. I sped back to my farm to gather the materials I needed, and new achievement, baby! I've never done this before, and God willing, it will be a while until I ever have to do it again. Shout out to my dumb fish ponds for not giving me a dragon tooth that entire time. They're necessary for the 999 challenge, but we are fighting. I went to Robin's to move some buildings around, breaking the 4th wall here, but I tried to use a Stardew farm planner in between recordings, and I was really bad at it. No fault to the website. I knew after many minutes on that site that I wanted to make this little space down by the cave where my farm animals hang out. That's as far as I got. Took me like half an hour to get there. I am no designer. Ignore my lack of skills and be amazed by another keg harvest day. Wow, so much money and alcohol. I'm so good and talented. My night ended by propagating more face fruit and running out of time and space for beans. I'm gonna have to sort this field out to try to finish the quest in time. Finally, a skull cavern run today. But why is the statue glowing? Oh, right, for the dangerous skull caverns, of course. If you thought I was bad at normal skull caverns, I'm way worse at this one. Everything is stronger and with more health, and it's my job to get to floor 100 for more gems. And I do, with a lot of staircases. I duck dodge and staircase down the caverns, keeping an eye out for any easy to get radioactive nodes. I also find another blue cowboy hat, which reminds me, I haven't gotten a blue chicken for my farm yet. After hitting floor 100, I run over to Marnie's to buy a new blue baby that I randomized to name EmzaOhNo. My beautiful genetically mutated baby. Marnie giggles at me when she realizes I'm wearing her man's shorts around in public. Anytime Lewis is embarrassed is a good time for me. I head back to Ginger Island with 2 new iridium sprinklers to try to sort out my beans problem. I'm obsessed with checking my perfection tracker. 80% is way more than I've ever had. The only thing I'm missing are the golden clock and the elvish jewelry, which will complete the museum and earn me my last star drop. With my shed upgraded, I do a bit of rearranging, then take some Omni geodes to the desert to trade for artifact troves. Clint disappoints me, and I spend the rest of the day adding more sprinklers to the island for beans. It's the last week of summer, so I make sure to harvest my tea leaves. But on Ginger Island, it's the biggest harvest of the season with starfruit and keyfruit. I spend most of the day turning these faces into beans. I don't make nearly as many beans as I have the space for, so I spend the rest of the day trying to fish up beans and elvish jewelry, which I don't get. It's another face fruit day, but I decide to fill the rest of the field with starfruit when I run out of beans. I have no idea how many I've planted. It's none of my business. If I'm not panicking into the last days of this quest, I'm doing it wrong. I'm easily distracted by a nice harvest on Titty's farm. Fall is gorgeous, but summer is probably my favorite season in Stardew, and this one has flown by so quickly. If you were wondering, no, I still haven't gotten a dragon tooth from the fish ponds. Also, I'm regularly checking my greenhouse for fruit trees and ancient fruit, but I haven't been showing you, cause it's a secret. Today is really my second to last day to get key beans planted. With the deluxe speed grow, these things take 3 days to grow, and I have to finish this before the end of the season. I plant extra beans on both Ginger Island and my main farm. Then I get kinda desperate. I grab some pressure nozzles with my key gems to expand the area of my sprinklers on Ginger Island. Could I have just made more sprinklers and planted them on my main farm? Absolutely I could have, but I was panicking. These expand your sprinkler range by 1, making the iridium sprinklers a 6x6 instead of a 5x5. I also fish for beans until late into the night. I was panicking! Day 277 is officially the last day I can plant face fruits. I harvest all of them and turn most of them into beans to replant. I harvest 244, so I know I'll have at least that many in the next 3 days. Everything else, well, I don't know, and I don't feel like doing the math. My lack of farm organization has become a problem once again. I plant the 244 beans, then add some more with extra pressure nozzles, and replace some of my grown fruits on the main farm. I hope it's enough, and if it's not, well, what a waste of a season. Shane said I look ready to have a baby, and I guess that's true. I didn't think I looked pregnant, but apparently I've put on a couple extra pixels. Including the 101 extra fruit I had from yesterday, today I harvest 152, bringing my total to 263. I gotta hope I have 237 more planted, and I'm pretty sure I do. I don't know, sprinkler math hurts my head, and I don't have time to worry, cause it's keg day. Takes me around 7 in-game hours to fully refill and harvest all my kegs, and it is totally worth it. I have my second child during the night and name it Charlie, with a Y, after my firstborn, Charlie with an IE. Now I only have to remember one name. It's day 1 with 2 kids, and Shane is immediately wanting to send them away to camp. He's still the father of the year. I mean, the other dads in town are Demetrius, Pierre, and Kent, so there's not a lot of competition. In tradition of being a family woman, I spend the day my second-born came into the world deep in Skull Caverns. I'm really here for Omni Geodes at this point to get the artifact troves, but more iron and copper ore for kegs will do nicely. It's a dive without much note, except I took a shaft that took me past floor 200, so I didn't get my 2 treasure floor chests. Bummer. Well, today's the day. It's the last day of summer and my final chance at face fruit victory. I start by harvesting everything on the main farm, then heading to Ginger Island. Wow! That's a lot of creepy faces. I harvest everything, needing a little over 250 fruits, and oh boy, I way overestimated how many I needed. No complaints though, these gems will line my pockets nicely. I turn some of the extra fruit into wine because I'll need those for the 999 challenge later. And now is as good a time as any to get a jump on key fruit wine. I replant my field with more starfruit seeds, and when I head back to the valley, my forest neighbors perform for me. I'm glad I helped them out with all their weird fetch quests. To end the summer, I say hi to Leo and hang out with my family, minus my newborn child, at the Moonlight Jellies Festival. Let's start off the season with a victory. This aged starfruit wine is finally ready. For all you aesthetic farm babes, I apologize. This might be my worst season yet. I start by adding iridium sprinklers to the land outside my farmhouse that has had the same layout for 2 years. Then I buy a bunch of pumpkins, artichokes, yams, and grapes. I need the last 3 for polyculture. Adding more iridium sprinklers to the lower half of my farm certainly happens. It's ugly, and I'm not proud, but it'll do. It takes me so long to rearrange things that I barely get anything planted day 1. So my planting continues into the damp morning of the 2nd of fall, and for the whole day, actually. I plant my grapes in the worst spots possible, but eventually in the wee hours of the night, all my crops make it into the ground. Well, now what? I'm pretty much just waiting for my kegs to produce 4 more times at about $1 million a harvest, and I just need 1 more thing for the museum. So I head to Klitz to break open 11 more artifact troves, and I don't find the elvish jewelry. This is infuriating, but at least I have something to work towards. Look at my chest. I've been saving everything for the 999 challenge, and I have so many not elvish jewelry artifacts. This thing is teasing me. I use a treasure totem in the forest out of desperation and come up empty-handed. I wander around the forest looking for more worm spots when I finally acknowledge the trash bear. This cute guy wants a sea cucumber, and I am determined to get it for him. When I have the time. I head to Robin's to ask her to create shortcuts around the valley, then spend the evening doing what I do best, deforesting. I had 1 more iridium sprinklers worth of pumpkins, then gather bars from my shed to make 29 more kegs. I head to the ocean to fish for the sea cucumber and the elvish jewelry, and after buying a new bobber from Willie and switching spots, I end up catching a bunch of sea cucumber. That's 1 victory, I guess. I head to deliver the cucumber to the trash bear, and they swallow it whole. Then ask for a catfish. Guess I'm going fishing on the next rainy day now. I harvest the ancient fruit from my greenhouse and head to celebrate another keg day. It's definitely a lot of work, but I'm proud of how much my empire has grown. I don't know where I'm selling all this wine to, but I'm glad they still want around 400 bottles every week. I harvest some starfruit from Ginger Island, then head to the desert to restock on seeds. I'm not sure I've ever actually tried starfruit before. Maybe I should look into that. No complaints about 1 million gold earned. Wish I could make a fraction of that in real life, but it's fine. I'm totally fine. It's raining here today, so I fish in the forest to catch a catfish to give to the friendly trash bear, who is not here. I swear they were here a couple days ago. What is it with characters disappearing when it rains? If I have to be outside, so do they. Fine. I'll just go to the woods and spend the rest of the day setting up some paths on my farm. Hey, please tell me paths are helping with the aesthetic. I know they're not, but please lie to me. This is truly the best I can do. I take my frustrations to Robin, who comments on the weather. I buy another silo because I'm not buying more hay from Marnie, and I don't super want my animals to starve. That's just a quirky thing about me. I don't like when animals starve. Anyway, I head to the volcano to, I don't know, suffer? I don't remember when it wasn't raining in Stardew. Oh, so this is like my 4th or 5th tooth I've given to these ponds, and not one dragon tooth in return. I know it's a low % chance, but come on. I head to the wizards to move my fish ponds into this cute little line, then my ADHD really took over today. I was back on the island picking up a new key quest. This time I chose Key's Cuisine, and I will be using an exploit. I also pick up 2 galaxy souls with my gems. I could have used the mini forge I crafted, but instead I make my way to the top of the volcano to fuse 3 galaxy souls with my galaxy hammer to make the infinity gavel. Ooh. Then I check my journal scraps and infuse the gavel with prismatic shards until it gets Crusader, which allows me to hit mummies without bombs. This is probably my favorite weapon perk. I like it a lot. So back in the valley, I bring the trash bear the catfish. Then they ask for pancakes, so I go back home, make pancakes, and bring them back to the bear. They eat them without swallowing, then ask for moss soup. I'll get you your soup, buddy, but that's enough errands for one day. I pick up my preserve jars that I hadn't used for months, and surprising even me, I decide to make 19 more. Line them up on a path to the mountains and fill them with blackberries. The 999 challenge makes me do weird things. After a very full day, I did bring the trash bear some moss soup. They liked it so much that they cleaned up the sewers, gave Alex dog Dusty a steak, then flew away like Mary Poppins. I have questions, and I will regret doing this, but for now, that was kind of fun. I decided to design a new chest area, and I barely understand what I was trying to do. I doubt you will, but here I am, doing it anyways. I saw Leo today, and for a second, I thought Jazz and Vincent might be bullying him. I love you, Vincent, but if you were ever being a jerk to Leo, I'd send you away with the trash bear. I spent more time rearranging my chests. I do it by season, which nobody else seems to do, but that's what makes sense to me. Then for the dozenth time, I planted more starfruit on Ginger Island. It's more chest sorting for me in the morning before heading to Pierre's to buy, 999 wheat flour. Then I head home to make over 1,000 pieces of fresh bread for the Key's Cuisine quest. It's a lot of bread, but I'm pretty sure it's not enough, so I go buy 700 more wheat flour, just in case. It's a pretty quest-heavy day. I take a dozen eggs to Gus's for the omelet quest for the 2nd time, then pick up a crop order quest to ship 100 newly grown amaranth by the end of the season. This is all to impress the governor, which normally I wouldn't be into, but when there's a prize ticket involved, I'm there. And yep, I was right. Need to make more bread tomorrow. Get it? 'Cause you need dough? I thought it was funny. So I make 700 more bread. That should be more than enough, but I don't feel like doing math. Then it's back to Pierre's to buy hundreds of amaranth seeds. This man would be out of business without me, and do I get any thanks? No. I check all the trash cans, angering Lewis, before replacing my yams with amaranth. I'm getting desperate to find elvish jewelry, so I make and use 2 more treasure totems, coming up with nothing. I end the day by myself with blackberry jelly. Those key gems show me I did ship enough bread. No math needed. I head to the traveling cart and accidentally buy strawberries when I meant to buy rare seeds. That's on me, but I still blame her. My ponds finally produce a singular dragon tooth. I'm so excited that I empty my pond, which is a mistake, but we'll ignore that. Then I replace more yams with amaranth and still find time to go to Skull Caverns. It's a pretty normal caverns dive, but I'm blowing up a lot of extra rocks looking for omnigeodes to trade for artifact troves. It's an odds game, and eventually one of them has to have the elvish jewelry. I leave when my health gets a little too low. I've died way too much in this playthrough. I get more rocks in the mail from George. I hope when I get old one day, I'll get to send rocks in the mail to my friends. Hey, I'll tell you something embarrassing. I can't find my tools. I run all over the map checking chests on Ginger Island before I finally find them in my tool chest, exactly where I left them. I'm a little dumb, but I knew that already. So I'm back to harvesting and planting. Then I head to the desert trader to trade for 5 more artifact troves. Clint fails me again, but at least it's a keg day. I keep failing with troves, but at least I can always count on kegs. Today starts with me replacing my tiny pumpkin patch with more amaranth. I refill my preserve jars, then check out the traveling cart. At this point, she's just a habit I can't break. I spend the rest of my time fishing in Cindersap Woods, wishing the traveling cart sold artifacts. It's another pumpkin harvest day. Not finishing planting everything day 1 of fall is really showing up right now. I replace everything with amaranth until I run out and switch to artichokes. I look in my shed and think, this needs something. More crystallariums maybe? So I make 10 more. Jade for staircases and quartz to refine to turn into solar panels. This is efficiency. Then I go to Robin's for, you'll never guess, another fish pond, baby. I'm addicted to the gamble and it feels so good. In Key's walnut room, I pick up Danger in the Deep again. I'm gonna be using staircases for that. Then I make and bring a couple more bee houses to Ginger Island before starting to sort my chests for the 999 challenge. Before the fair, I make several more chests for my summer section. I think 6 chests per season will work well for me, so I'm trying to accommodate for that. I harvest a couple pumpkins, check on my animals, and prepare to make Pierre cry with my Grange display yet again. Thankfully, Vincent is by the cows this year. He's the only one I trust in this town to hang out with my child. After defeating Pierre yet again, I gamble, grab the rare crow and prize ticket, then head home. Another successful festival, where I left my newborn at home alone. Whoops. This morning, I raced to buy bombs from the dwarf, then head to Skull Caverns. I need Omni Geodes, and I need them real bad. Panning this spot gets me an artifact trove. This is what I'm supposed to be doing today. I can feel it. I'm blowing up rocks left and right looking for these geodes. I even get another auto petter, but none of it matters if I don't find enough rocks. I leave today with 33 geodes, 30 of which I turn into artifact troves. This better be enough, or I will be seeing Clit in court. More crops to harvest and blackberries to jelly. It all seems like a normal Stardew day until I find Leo standing at the edge of the cliff. Well, hi there, Leo. What you doing up there, buddy? Oh, he seems happy, thank goodness. Had me worried there. So I go to Clit's and I open some geodes I had lying around, and then finally, the artifact troves. I hold my breath, hoping, wishing, and finally, freaking finally, the elvish jewelry. I can't believe I'm finally done. I run to the museum and place it in the carefully curated spot that I left open based off a screenshot of someone else's completed museum. In my museum rewards that I haven't been picking up, a star drop. It feels good. Really, it does. Especially with the achievement popping. But there also should be a bigger celebration of me because I put in a lot of work here. But it turns out it was just another normal day in Stardew. I chopped trees, expanded a place for my chests, and added even more chests for spring goods to wrap out the day. I started today working on filling my silos for winter, then headed to the traveling cart where I accidentally bought a second fez and on purpose bought a rare crow. Then I head to the dangerous mines with all my staircases to make my way down the floors. It's pretty easy going, especially with the staircases. And I have to ask, does anybody like the dark floors, or is this a pretty universally disliked place? They always frustrate me. After arriving on the forest floor, I leave early, because my pockets are getting full. No rush, I'll be back tomorrow. And wait, is today Friday? Welcome to day 300. I'm actually so much farther in this series than I thought I would be by this point. I think I'll definitely get that golden clock pretty soon. So the rest of this is all bonus content. Yay! But also now Keg Day is Saturday since I goofed up. I harvest and replant all the starfruit on Ginger Island, then head to the kegs to do my thing. It takes me into the night to refill all my kegs, but I still head to the mines to use my staircases to blitz through the forest floors, leaving after I hit floor 75. In the morning, I say hello to Charlie and Charlie, then head to the mines. I'm going much slower now, exploring a bit, but I leave at floor 95 because I don't really have a great way to regenerate my health in the mines. So I head to Gus's to buy 150 salads. Nothing like chomping on lettuce when you're about to die. Video game logic. I head back into the mines, roughage and tow to conquer the rest of the dangerous mines, using staircases. Wish I'd bought salads when I started Skull Cavern runs, but I guess it took until I had 8 million gold to think I had enough to spare for rabbit food. With fall coming to a close, I collect for my tea saplings and tappers. At Pierre's, I buy a bunch of bok choy to replace the amaranth. And in Key's Walnut Room, I take another Skull Caverns quest, and I decide that I'll buy Key's hat soon, for when I reach the top of the peak. At Robin's, I do another new thing for me in Stardew, and ask her to build me a slime hutch. I've never used one of these, and I barely know how they work. I'm excited and nervous to find out. I buy a telephone so I can finally use Marlin's phone number. I also buy a furniture catalog for catalog collecting's sake. I move my Statue of Blessings and Dwarf statue out front so I can remember to use them every day. I've been really bad about that. I spend the night adding some flooring around my fish ponds to attempt to decorate. Day 303 starts with harvesting cranberries, pumpkins, and artichokes. I replace the latter two with bok choy, then head into town to search through the trash and collect prize tickets. Shut up, Marnie, you sleep with Lewis. For the last time, I go to Klitz to have him upgrade my trash can to iridium. Then, while I'm checking a trash can near the movie theater, I notice this truck for the first time. Whoever's inside wants me to bring him a rabbit's foot, and I can't say no to a stranger in a car, so I head home to grab it immediately. I bring him the foot, and he gives me the special charm, meaning I've completed everything on the special items and powers page. This wasn't required for perfection, but it feels really good to have accomplished. I spend the rest of the evening bringing all my artifacts and minerals outside to my sorting area. With finally shipping some grapes I've been hoarding all season, I get the polyculture achievement. Great way to start the day, along with some microwave pizza from my husband. Marlon's outside to tell me about the slime hutch. Apparently that's how he lost his eye, and now I'm a little nervous. I head inside with my slime incubator and slime egg press. I put an egg in and hope that's the right move. I have no idea. I'm completely clueless. The rest of my day is spent deforesting, picking up mushrooms in the secret woods, and organizing my new chests with everything from the crafting menu. It's confusing and inefficient, but this is what I've chosen to do. At the end of the day, I make and add 13 more crystallariums to my shed. Gotta keep the gem production moving. After harvesting some crops this morning, I head to a panning spot where I find a bridal veil. Now I'm the prettiest girl at the party. I make 20 new kegs and put more copper in the furnaces to smelt. Then I head to Marnie, who never ceases to use my farm's government name. There I buy 2 rabbits, one that I accidentally named by clicking too fast, and the other one I named Stanley. I check and, well, welcome to the family. Ferrerto. I guess the game finally said that I needed a new fit because in the desert I found a new shirt too. Why is this giving MCR? I buy a bunch more starfruit seeds from my girl Sandy, then replant part of the field on Ginger Island. I also harvest honey and ginger while I'm there. I start my day shoving coffee and spicy eel down my throat to try Key's no eating quest for Skull Caverns. With staircases and bombs on my side, I make it down to floor 100 with no problems. So I decide to keep going. Gosh, I wish I could have a bigger backpack. I find another cowboy hat and wear it to bless the run, which takes me down to floor 208 before I pass out. This was a pretty great caverns dive, and I have staircases left over to do it all over again. That special charm really feels like it's making a big difference. After a bit more bok choy harvesting, I put on my slime charmer ring and head inside. This ring rocks. It makes it so slimes don't damage me, and I can check on my babies with ease. I add a couple more slime eggs that I've randomly collected. I come back with sprinklers because I think I saw someone say these things were water troughs in a video one time. I do not know what I'm doing here. Marlon says he found me face down at 3 a.m. Marlon, what were you doing on floor 208 of Skull Caverns at 3 a.m.? That's the real question. Then it's keg day. I place 30 more kegs with the rest of my ever-growing empire, then empty and refill the kegs until the Spirits Eve festival tonight. There I buy jack-o'-lanterns, a rare crow, and a gravestone before I check on my kid and Leo. I also make sure to get that golden pumpkin before heading home. The end of the fall season. Winter's right around the corner, and so is perfection. I say hello to Charlie and Charlie, then harvest the last of my fall crops. I check the traveling cart, out of tradition's sake, then sorted out my field on Ginger Island. I gave my disappointing stingray ponds some more cinder shards before harvesting all the truffles my pigs had found from the last week or so. I ended the season wielding my iridium scythe to gather enough hay to keep my animals happy and fed through the winter. It wouldn't be the beginning of a new season here in the valley without getting weird mail from Kent. Why are you sending me bombs in the mail? This feels like a threat, Kent. I thought we were besties. Winter has the potential to be calm and easy. The music is beautiful. There aren't lots of crops to worry about. It's simple. But not for me, because I chose Key's crops again. Here we go. More face fruit, baby. While looking for beans, I dug up a red party hat. I'm thrilled and honored at this opportunity to match my boy Spork. Then Pierre called me at midnight to tell me he sells seeds. Pierre, what in the world? My children are sleeping. I decided that I probably ought to connect the bottom path of my farm to the top path. It's about time, you know. Then I caught Alex blushing on the way to the mountains. No, sir. I already married the second worst man in this game. I am not stooping to the worst. I looked through more trash cans today and picked up my own purple trash can from Klitz. Thanks, Clint. Hope to see you never. I haven't watched a movie in this playthrough yet, so just for fun I thought I'd take Leo to see his first motion picture. I grabbed him a snack, didn't get to play the claw game, and we watched this train movie. It felt too old for Leo, but he seemed to like it all the same. I decided on a strange goal today. I want the Iridium Krobus statue. To get it, you have to fish from the sewers in the water. I have to get extra strength seafoam pudding to make it into the water. So I head to Ginger Island to get Key's seasoning, which enhances any buffs from cooking that you make with the seasoning. I make the enhanced seafoam pudding, but when I try to fish into the water, I can't reach it. Turns out if the weird trash bear has already fixed the sewers, the one tile you need to stand on doesn't exist. So I have to head to the forge to enhance my fishing rod and make it back in time to barely get my rod in the water to get this beautiful statue of the most precious baby boy. And I do it with 20 seconds to spare. This was exhausting, but totally worth it. I buy the catalog from Pierre, then place my Iridium Krobus statue front and center. At the Wizards, I get him to magic me a Junimo hut. This is another thing I've never used in Stardew, but I'm excited to try it out come springtime. I find a new bone-themed hat while chopping down a tree. I was really hoping to end this playthrough with some dignity, but I shouldn't have expected as much. I spend the rest of my day fishing for beans. This morning, I make sure to activate my dwarf's blessing before heading to the dwarf in the mines to buy bombs. I made my way to Skull Caverns, and between you and me, I'm just here for the beans. I do end up finding a bunch of iridium and geodes while I'm here. Boring. It wouldn't be winter in Stardew Valley for me if I wasn't putting face fruit in seed makers. I check on my slime babies and am still wildly confused by them. At the traveling cart, I buy some nondescript jelly and a couple cooking items. Wow, I've really gone through an emotional roller coaster with this woman and her pig. I love to hate her, but I just can't quit her. In the walnut room, I buy Key's hat and a couple pressure nozzles to expand the sprinklers I put in my new Junimo hut. I try to decorate with some hardwood fences and a brazier. This is truly the best I can do. I do think it's cute though. Instead of emptying chests, I smack my fishing chests across my farm and into place. I am an efficiency queen. It's the last keg day of this perfection file. Once I ship nearly 500 bottles of wine, I'll have the 10 million gold to get that golden clock. Striving for perfection has really made me fall in love with Stardew again. I found new ways to enjoy the game and the stories that come along with it. I couldn't end this playthrough without buying another fish pond from Robbins, though. The odds were not in my favor, but I love my little fish ponds. With 1.4 million more in the bank, I process some face fruit, check on the traveling cart, and head to the Wizards to purchase my golden clock. I make my way to Key's walnut room to see 100% on the perfection tracker, and I actually feel really proud. This game has meant so much to me, and to see it in the stage of completion actually made me emotional. So, on winter 8th of year 3, I see that Grandpa is beaming with pride, and the legacy of Titty's farm is eternal. There's a rumble in the distance. I take Spork with me up to the train station, but I make the journey up to the summit alone, to find Shane at the top. Shane was the first person I romanced in Stardew back in October of 2016. It only feels right that he's up here with me now. I've done it. I am part of the 1.1% of people who have achieved perfection in Stardew Valley. If you've made it to the end of this movie, thank you for sticking with me. I've had such a good time putting this series together, and I can't wait to see what happens next with this channel. I hope you'll see me next time. Be kind to each other, and stay safe.